Hello there. Wait a second. And welcome to another stream. Oh my god. I have a new, you can't see it actually, but I have a new mic arm, which is very stiff and very squeaky. So I'm sorry if you can hear it at certain points by moving it, but I'll fix that eventually. But I am back to stream yet another day. And this time I want to check once again that things are working, because I have moved my microphone setup a bit. Yet another day. I sound fine. Brushbuddy is worse than MrBeast. Oh my god, we got to talk about that. I should make a live stream thumbnail stuff. Yeah, I should do thumbnails. That's also true. Look, Kyle's even on the stream right now, right here, saying late. Crazy. Anything else to talk about? True, we've embraced the meme. But there is actually quite a bit to talk about, at least immediately, but there's not much after that. What's a Brushbuddy? We're going to talk about my latest video, my most viral, crazy success ever. As foreseen by my great genius when I came up with the idea. Alright. Andor streaming. Haven't watched anything else. Oh, I watched EliteAri and finished it. I forgot to put it on here, but I'll put that on there tonight. Why We Fight. True. Korra fan art. This is actually really good. I like this. Really good quality. Yeah, then I made a video. What is Brushbuddy's true goal? So for context, Brushbuddy is this very cute creature in Witch Hat Atelier. And I made a video, and I want to talk about it a little bit, but that's a thing. And then I saw, oh my god, there's a viral tweet. And when I say viral, I mean it has 3,000 likes, which isn't that crazy, but you know, it's still quite a lot. 30,000 views about my video thumbnail. It's crazy. This happens every now and then where I'm like, oh, I guess people just like, it's every now and then people are just talking about my video and I have no idea. But yeah, there was this. It's kind of crazy. And then Yukimura, the creator of Vinland Saga, the manga author, he said, lately, before going to bed at night, my wife and I have been playing Minecraft. Isn't that crazy? Oh my god, he's been playing Minecraft. So that's kind of crazy, and there's a long tweet about it. And yet another tweet about my video. This time from Lines in Motion, which is the channel I've actually heard about and I've watched videos from. Now, I don't remember if I liked the videos. I feel like I probably didn't. Or maybe I thought they were okay. I don't know. But I know Kyle, at least, has a video from this channel that he just loves so much. And it's about, like, rhyming or, like, poetry or something like that. So, yeah. I've sent so many videos. Thank you. That's good. Yes. And then Kyle made a video about Mad Men that I can't watch because one day I'll watch Mad Men. I don't want spoilers. But I've also made videos, which is way more important than Kyle making videos. So, what have I made? I have made my ranking of everything I finished in 2026. I think I talked about that last time. I think that was already done. That was on like the ReZero day or something, right? Or maybe that was on the Friday. I don't know. But that was the thing I did. And guess what won? I'll spoil it for you. It's Chainsaw Man Part 2. Isn't that crazy? Obviously. But I guess we'll see what it's going to be for the next... Actually, I guess it'll be in like 3 months from now probably, or 4 months or something. So who knows? Or maybe I'll just do it every month. Who knows as well? Oh, I stopped watching that Brushbuddy video because I've read 2 chapters of that manga. Wow, crazy. Well, I think I would assume it's based on the first 3 chapters because I'd assume it's like 1 chapter an episode, but I have no idea. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's more than that or less than that. I made a video about... So last Saturday, A Sense of a Bookworm came out, as it does every Saturday, and I watched the episode and I thought, man, I don't know what to make a video about. But then I thought, I went to my great AI and I said, what are people talking about? And then I went to Reddit and I read the Reddit discussions, and the first Reddit discussion was about the bread. And I thought, huh, interesting. You know, people, they really like this bread meme, because when I watched the episode, I immediately thought of the bread as well. I'm like, oh, look, an animated bit of bread. Isn't that crazy? So I made a video. I actually had, I don't know how it turned out like this, but I started off just wanting to talk about the bread in A Sense of a Bookworm. And it's going to be the same video as I always make, which is like, man, isn't it crazy? Doesn't the show look like better now than it used to? And I've just made that video too many times. So I thought, oh, I'll compare it to like Witch Hat, which also had a bread sequence recently. And then at the end, we talk about Mushoku Tensei, of course. So that's that video. Far too popular, 30,000 views with 120 comments, but it is what it is, you know? We love it. So that was the video. I've made notable progress into Alabasta in One Piece. How exciting. I am up to episode 70 is what I'm going to start probably on Sunday, I'm guessing, because I got a busy weekend of consuming stuff. We have our final Utena discussion for the main series. Revolution Girl Utena is a fantastic show. I like it just as much as I did the first time, if not more. Yeah, it's really good. Bro was so dramatic with that intro. True. You got music or something? Well, hello everyone. and welcome to the final Revolutionary Girl. Yes, indeed, there we go. But that was a fun discussion. There's a lot of videos that should be made about Utena. Now, the problem is I don't know if there's an audience for it, so if I should waste time making them. But I might. Like, if I have that one miscellaneous day a week, which I could just make whatever video I want there. Maybe I'll make some Utena videos. I'll make like 5 of them, who knows. I have a lot of ideas I can make about Utena videos. So yeah. EliteAri, you're famous. True. Oh my god, Lights in Motion. True. Do you think my video is at 100 views yet? Oh, you know what? I don't actually know because I haven't even looked at it. Because it was Mad Men. No, you're not. You're 98 views. Mad Men's first Pete Campbell episode. Here's a tip for you, Kyle, okay? Don't put whatever's in the title, don't also put in the thumbnail, okay? Because there's like no benefit to it. I think, as my assumption at least. I don't know. Unless it's like a long-term discussion or something. What is Brushbuddy's true goal? This is what I want to talk about because I have a lot of thoughts on this. And I just want to say it out there, okay? Because I have a whole story about how I made this. And I did a Revolutionary Girl Utena character tier list. So if anyone has watched Utena, then please go watch that, I guess. But the interesting thing about this, actually, is that there's a chatbot integrated into the analytics page now on YouTube, which is really interesting. And I think it was like maybe like 5 or 6 hours after I'd uploaded this video, it said, oh, do you want to get like a summary of like how your video is doing? And I clicked it and I gave a summary and it's like, oh, it's doing really badly, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, okay, thanks. But then throughout the video, throughout the summary, it suggested like shorts for me to make. And I was very impressed because apparently that AI bot has the context of the entire transcript because it was like, oh, you should make the section about like the sections you were most passionate about into shorts, and then it listed the None of Me section and the Shadows Girl section. And I was like, oh my god, it actually knows like what I actually thought were the most interesting bits. So it's kind of interesting. It is like I think it's going to be a bigger thing in the future that I imagine YouTube's probably going to capitalize on that a bit. So yeah, it's interesting. That's one thing. If there's, but how exciting. No, she had not met any brush buddies when I stopped. Well, I assume it's the next chapter. Utena is EliteAri's 20th favorite anime, by the way. No, I think it's like... Actually, don't remember. Maybe it was 20. I don't know. But it's definitely higher than 20. How about you make a main channel video? It is weird. This video here, I will talk about it. I'm going to spend some time. So if you don't know anything about WitchChat, you're probably going to be very bored by this. But I have to talk about this because I have a lot to say. This is a video that almost certainly should have been a main channel video. Because I think I like this video. It's a video I'm probably not proud of. It's probably a video I'm somewhat proud of. Proud enough where like this could easily go on a main channel. Now the problem is I can't put a Witch Hat Atelier video on a main channel because I have my Witch Hat audience on this channel, which has raised the bigger question of like the more I continue making videos that get like 10,000 views or whatever, like for my bar successful in my opinion, like for where I am now, the less I'm going to want to make videos on another channel because like why would I? Like my audience who knows that I exist are on this channel. So I don't know. It is a bigger pickle. And I think the pickle is going to get bigger and bigger as time goes on. But it is what it is. This basically should have been a main channel video, but I had to put it here because that's where all the Witch Hat Atelier videos go. But essentially I sat down, I watched the episode and I thought, man, there's really there's nothing that people are talking about. Like when I try and make these videos week to week, I try and base them on whatever people are actually interested in, right? Like I try and find a topic that people are going to be interested in and like a lot of people are talking about so that I can make a video and like they are more likely to watch it because it's like something people already talk about. The bread thing is a good example. There's people talking about the bread and then they go watch the bread. Or like the other sentence of a bookworm video, which is that, oh my god, we skipped a scene, and people see the video about, oh my god, we skipped the scene, and they go watch that video for me, right? Now, this one, all the discussion was basically about how amazing the anime looks, which they say that every week. Like, that is the main discussion every week. But this time, that was basically what everyone was talking about. And I agreed. But I didn't want to make another video about how Witch Hat Atelier, oh my god, doesn't it just look so good, guys? Because I've already made 2 of those in 2 weeks, and I can't make a third one because it's a bit repetitive at this point. So I sat down and I thought, you know what? I'll just make a video about anything. I don't really care how successful it is. I'll just make something. And my first step to actually make it was... I like to get inspiration, I've said this before, by making thumbnails. Like, if I can't think of a video of, like, what to make, there's, like, 2 things I do. One is that I either choose the music for the video, which is that I go through random anime OSTs and I listen to a song and try and find a song that, like, inspires me to make a video, and I base the video around that song. Or I design a thumbnail, and that, like, motivates me to make a video, because I'm like, ooh, this is, like, an interesting thumbnail, I want to make a video. So I made a few different thumbnails for this video, and there was, There was like a bunch of different things. Some were about Coco, some were about Agot, and one of them was about Brushbuddy, and it was the final thumbnail I ended up using for this, which is the Brushbuddy is evil. Now, I had absolutely no idea whatsoever this video was going to be, but I saw the thumbnail and I thought, oh, this is a good thumbnail. Like, this could, like, people could be interested in this, and I would watch a video if I saw a thumbnail like this. And it fits into the trope of, like, things you see on Twitter, where recently there was one, like, I don't remember what it was, but it was, like, Gojo touches or he touched Gojo or something like that, and it's, like, a weird, goofy thumbnail that people, like, pass around on Twitter because of how extreme it is. So I thought, oh, if I make a video like this with this thumbnail, this could like easily get people to click on it on Twitter, which is why I tweeted it out, but no one actually engaged with my tweet, so I thought it was dead. But it turns out apparently it was passed around on Twitter and Discord. I joined the Witch Hat Atelier Discord, and there's like 10 different people who have all sent the video in that Discord, each basically saying the same thing, which is like, man, isn't this crazy? Like, Brushbuddy isn't evil or whatever, and it's like very funny. So it is a video that outside of YouTube, this has been my most successful video by far. It is, which is kind of interesting. And it is kind of exactly what I was hoping for when I planned it. But the second thing is that, like, when I started making it, like, when I made the thumbnail, I didn't have a title. I didn't have an idea at all of what I wanted the video to be. So I was just sitting there like, what do I do? And it is kind of a miracle that I somehow came together with just a script that somehow is a theory about how Brushbuddy is evil. And it's, like, somewhat... It's, like, a weird mix of, like... Some things I tried to commit to it to be like I don't try and give away intentionally that I'm obviously being like really dumb or whatever, like making a really dumb theory that actually has no backing whatsoever. Like I don't try and intentionally make like jokes or anything like that. But there's certain points that are like so comically like bad that I feel like it should be really obvious that I'm joking or whatever. But there are people in the comments who are like legitimately engaging me in my like thought process and are like, oh, I don't think this is a very good point because, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you like watched this whole video and thought that like I was making a serious thing. But, so that was interesting. Yeah. Now what else can I say? Like, to make the video, I basically went back and watched every single Brushbuddy scene. And there's not that many, to be fair, so it wasn't that hard. It was like, well, I basically just rewatched the latest 2 episodes. And every time he was on scene, I tried to just think of one possible interpretation through which he could be thought of as a villain. And it somehow came up with this, like, somewhat coherent theory. Now, there was always the danger when I was making this of, like, what if he, like, actually is a villain? Or, like, what if there is, like, some twist or something, and, because I'm an anime only, and, like, maybe I could come across as really dumb. Like, if there's something I don't know about, like, in a broader context of Witch Hat, and it would, like, be a very dumb video, but I feel like I just haven't hit that landmine yet, so I think I'm okay. But that was another thing. Then the other thing I was thinking about when I was making the video was that a long time ago, in a galaxy... not very far away in our galaxy, there was a Darth Jar Jar post on Reddit. I think this was right before The Force Awakens came out, and it was basically talking about how Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord. Now, these days, I'm sure everyone really knows about this, but back then, it was, like, new at the time, and I was like, oh, it's, like, super crazy and interesting, and, like, a little bit compelling, but also dumb at the same time. And that was a big inspiration for this. I'm like, oh, I could, like, kind of make it like a Darth Jar Jar thing. And there's, like, a bunch of people in the comments also saying that. And I'm like, oh, cool. They kind of, like, saw the inspiration I was doing as well. So I'm really happy this video exists, and I'm very happy with the engagement it's gotten, which is kind of cool. So yeah. And I think one other thing I have discovered is that I don't think I could ever make a more successful Witch Hat video. So whatever views this ends up getting, to me it feels like the ceiling of what is possible for my type, like my channel. Like, I'm sure other channels could get way more views for Witch Hat videos, but whatever I get for this is probably going to be the ceiling of the number of views I get for any Witch Hat video I make. Unless I really sit down and make like a proper analysis video where I put a lot of time into it. So yeah, so if this ends up getting like what I would assume is going to be like 10,000 to 12,000 views, then it's probably the most I could ever get for Witch Hat. So yeah, this was an interesting video. There was also, I guess there's one more edit, which was inspiration for this, which is there's this schizo Egon Chalokian video that uses a certain song. Edit. And I use the song from that. Play. Oh my god.
Nothing like real. So many of their accounts.
Anyway, the song came from that, so you can hear it at certain points, like when's the bit? This bit. To reach the peak of a player and higher with more and more, he makes his first appearance. Brushbuddy, inches away from. Yeah, stuff like this, you know. So we love it. Anyway, that's that video. Now. Let me read some chats if there's... Oh yeah, there's a little bit. Here we go. My goodness. I got 3 thumbnails, EliteAri, and 3 titles. Good job. The AI said I shouldn't give up hope for my recent video. That's good. Thank God. My goodness. And Gustav is here saying, hello, EliteAri. Hello. I saw a YouTube podcast advertising an AI tool. I saw a YouTube podcast, like an official YouTube podcast or a podcast on YouTube, advertising an AI tool that cut out shorts for you. They said it would do it perfectly. That's what I used. I used an AI thing to make my short, which did not become very successful. So I did not pursue it any further. But this, 73 views. Opus clip. By now, the really cool thing is that it gives you like the automatic, like nice looking framing, despite it being a horizontal video. Like it gives you the blur, it gives you the thing automatically. You don't have to do anything. It gives you the subtitles, puts a little thing at the top. Like it's nice for that. I'm sure you've heard of which, but it didn't do a very good job of clipping out like interesting parts of the video, you know? So yeah. Anyway, so they can do it. True. Magical Gojo has been a good show. Nippon Sengoku has been the anime of the season so far. These are both things that I feel like we've talked about on stream before. Magical Gojo anime. Well, now it's just we're just gonna see Gojo. Okay, never. I don't know why I thought that. Okay, Nippon Sengoku anime. I don't know if I've seen this. I feel like I like seen it before. I mean, like the visuals. This looks like look back a little bit, but I feel like I said the same thing last time. So, yeah. Another really good anime this season has been Akane Banashi, free on YouTube. I have heard of that one. How? It's free on YouTube? What does that mean? Or maybe if you're in Asia or something, like the Muse Asia thing or whatever. I don't know a single thing about this, but when I was considering replacing ReZero with something, this was the thing I was considering replacing it with. Because it's something I've heard of for a long time, even though I haven't read it or seen it. Uh-oh, someone's trying to break the rules of the Discord. True. Brushbuddy's the true villain? True, he is. I can see Brushbuddy being the final villain. It worked for someone in Black Clover. Oh my god, spoilers. Holy. So EliteAri just slandered some poor little guy. No, I came up with a theory about how he's evil. Okay? I liked it on a show of Magical Gojo living with... Oh, I understand. You're saying that this guy is magical. Kifuri is Magical Gojo. I see. I liked it on a show of Magical Gojo living with 4 little kids. The pet is the real villain. True. I don't know why, but after watching Witch Hat, I feel like watching your Utena videos. Because, you know, they're just so good. Oh my god. We should watch your Nanami's Egg video since I didn't watch it yet. Well, not on stream, because I think I have already watched that on stream, right? Or maybe not. I don't know. Magical Gojo is Witch Hat. Yeah, I figured that out eventually. The official channel of Akane Banashi YouTube had each episode for free with English subtitles. You know, I doubt that's the case in Australia, but let's see. Akane Banashi. I always think of banana. Oh, they're just here. Is this official? No way, right? Really? How do we even tell if this is official? I guess they tweet out about it, right? Well, it's got a blue check mark, but it does say official. So I don't know how you would possibly verify this. Unless they've like announced. I assume it's real. I would assume, probably. Cool. How exciting. It's got surprisingly, like, hardly any views, which is kind of crazy. 20,000 views, but okay. Damn. What a cool idea. I watched the egg video. I liked it a lot. Awesome. Someone from stream commented on that video. I don't remember who it was. So maybe it was you? Or maybe it was someone else? It was a while ago, though. Where is it? Oh, this one. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was you 5 months ago. True. Okay. Alright. This thumbnail's scaring me. What is this? Oh my god. Every time I see it, it freaks me out. It says official, good enough for me. True. My goodness. Alright. Now, what do we have to talk about? What did I put in the title? Where can I see my title? I don't see it anywhere. I guess I gotta bring it up. Okay, Brushbuddy is worse than MrBeast. Oh yeah, there's a MrBeast video that I could talk about if I wanted to. I don't know. We'll see if we talk about it. And then anything else. And then thumbnails. True. Thumbnails are probably a good idea. They probably would get a lot more attention. Clayface teaser came out this week. I assume it's this. I don't know what Clayface is. Let's watch it. Why not? Let's see. Oops. Is this like a comedy or like a serious thing? I still can't tell if it's a comedy or if it's like a It's like so over dramatic that it feels comedic. Maybe not. Look. Fear. In. The. Oh, look fear in the face. Okay. Is that Vsauce? I don't know his face. Oh, he has a clay face. I get it. That makes sense. Well. That's okay. I don't know a single thing about this, except I guess it's DC. If I were to guess, this feels like the next Morbius. Where it's like going to be really bad and people are going to make fun of it. That's my... Just based on this terrible trailer, in my opinion, I think that's what's going to happen. But I guess we'll see. It looks different, at least. Like, it looks weird. You know what it looks like? It looks like that, that Death Note movie from, like, Netflix or whatever. Which was not very good. I don't know. Interesting. It's crazy that any Batman villain can just be a straight-up horror character. I guess it is just like a horror movie? I don't know. Oh, boy. Okay. Who's directing this? I don't know. I hope it's not like some really good director. It didn't look very good. James Watkins. Who is this? Black Mirror! Oh my god, we love Black Mirror! This is a great director. What did he do in Black Mirror? Oh, Shut Up and Dance. I actually don't remember for the directing and that was good, but probably. I remember the sunglasses or whatever, so who knows. What's the go with MrBeast? Well, he's not as bad as Brushbuddy, right? Batman villain, yes, I gathered that from that one comment, apparently. Interesting. Bro doesn't know who Clayface is. I don't know anything about comic books, okay? It's Joker, but with Clayface. Is it actually Joker? Wait. Because that's kind of crazy. Need context. I thought it said gay face. That's why I watched it twice originally. Wow. That great Death Note movie. That was not a very good movie. No, not at all. Death Note movie worked for the Japanese version. The US version was bad. Well, I've only seen the US version. And the one thing I remember is that Ryuk's, like, looked pretty okay. But I remember not liking the movie, though. Clayface versus Brushbuddy. Clayface is probably worse. He looks a bit scary. I don't know. But also, it looks kind of funny at the same time. Okay. Whoops. All right. Let's see what videos have... Why is there a... Oh, no. I just had a notification for some reason. Holy. Okay, we watched that video last time. You shouldn't watch the Harry Potter show. Oh, yeah, did you guys hear? Blindwave is not watching the Harry Potter show because J.K. Rowling is evil. All right. Why was I invited to Beast Studios? So I watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure by the great Enoch Yu. We definitely got to watch that one. MrBeast hawked up another one. I wonder what does that mean? Chibi reviews. We're not watching Chibi reviews. We've had enough of Chibi reviews. What is this? Some Utena video. Utena Explained, episode 2. Mickey's stopwatch. Oh my god, let's figure this out first. I love Utena. But this is a small channel, so there's a good chance it could be a good video. Who knows? When did Blindwave go woke? I think it was back in the 2015 to 2016 New Year's episode of their podcast where they talked about how it was so bad that Trump became the president, I think. Or maybe it was the 2016 to 2017, right? Because that's when the election was or whatever. When they got girlfriends? No, it was before that. I liked how the villains have stale color. Clayface? Is that what you're talking about? Even the Maze versus Magic that has an array of colors. Even the ink is vibrant black, and yes, Brushbuddy has stale colors. Oh, in Witch Hat, I suppose. You are watching Chibi Reviews. Nope. Tell him Gustav, no. Okay. Utena Explained, episode 2, Mickey's stopwatch. Now, what is the real answer? I feel like I read a Reddit comment about this recently that explained it in like a... It makes sense if you don't think about it too hard kind of way, which was that... Mickey's whole point of his character is that in the past... Or was it... Maybe it was literally this channel and Kyle watched this on stream or something, but... Mickey, his whole thing about the past was that he lost his connection with his sister, so because of that, now he wants to keep track of everything now. But, like, that, in my opinion, they're like two different types of keeping track of stuff, so I don't know if it really holds true, but I guess we'll see.
Hi, everyone. This is the second episode of Udna Explained, where I'll be looking at a specific moment
in
an episode of Udna. Today, we'll be looking at the student council scene in episode 2 of Udna and answering an age-old question almost every Udna fan has asked at one point or another. What's the deal with Mickey's stopwatch?
Yeah.
So, to get right into it. Here in episode 2, For Whom the Rose Smiles, we have our second scene with the student council. These student council scenes happen repeatedly throughout the show, but are especially common in the first season. After the chick speech, we see the council discussing Udna with our favorite border roses. I've mentioned this in another video, but notice that Toga's frame contains white roses, even though his color is ostensibly red. As Toga is a duplicitous young man...
I feel like, now I could be wrong, at one point in my first rewatch, I tried to track these colors, and there was no consistency between the colors, like, at all. Like, you might have thought that initially there was some consistency, but, like, by the end of the show, there isn't, like, no consistency. So I don't know, maybe there is, and maybe he's pieced it together, but I feel like this is probably not anything to do with this, but we'll see.
Acting out the role of a prince with our favorite border roses. I've mentioned this in another video, but notice that Toga's frame contains white roses, even though his color is ostensibly red. As Toga is a duplicitous young man acting out the role of a prince, it's fitting that the border here is the white color associated with the prince instead of...
Is it? And also, is he always red? That'd be interesting if he was always red. But also, is it associated with the prince? I don't remember. Utena Prince backstory. Like, is it white every time the story happens? Is this from the movie? I don't want movie spoilers. I mean, that's not white. There's white afterwards. Maybe because the prince is introduced and this is like the prince showing up, but then it turns pink because Utena's the prince? I don't know. Okay, maybe, but probably not.
Of the red color associated with lust and power, which usually shows up when Toga is around. Mickey and Juri are both framed in blue here, perhaps to represent their idealistic hopes, but more likely because there wasn't enough screen time to give Juri her own frame.
Okay.
As the council explains to the viewer their relationship to End of the World and the rules of the dueling game, we see that they are playing a card game, which I believe is Go Fish. The players are too preoccupied discussing the rules of the dueling game to ask for cards like you normally would in Go Fish, but the mechanics of the game, where players take cards from each other's hands and lay them down in pairs, seem to match Go Fish to a T. The symbolism here is relatively straightforward, but as the series continues, the activities that the student council perform become more esoteric. The student council is taking part in the dueling game, and so they play a game of cards. There can only be one winner, and there are defined rules which they cannot control. Go Fish is also a children's card game, which emphasizes that the student council are themselves childish. As the series continues, we will see that each of the duelists is obsessed with their childhoods, in their own particular way, and the childlike nature of Go Fish emphasizes...
This is gonna sound crazy, but they are children, right? So that everything in their experience, like their entire life, would be childhood, right? I don't know if that's what he's saying, but okay.
In their own particular way, and the childlike nature of Go Fish emphasizes this. As Toga explains that whoever wins the duels will win Auntie and enter the Castle of Eternity, he lays down his final pair, winning the game. We see that the winning pair consists of 2 Joker cards emblazoned with the Rose Seal. Normally when playing a card game, the Joker cards are removed, so why are they included here? I think that it's to show that the dueling...
This is an interesting thing to show here. I thought it was going to put something on the table, but okay.
The Joker cards are removed, so why are they included here? I think that
Good
it's
question.
to show that the dueling game is not what it appears to be, and at the end of the game will not play by the standard rules. It's not a coincidence that while Toga explains the end of the dueling game, he ends the card game they are playing in an unconventional way, because the end of the dueling game will not follow the established rules. It could also mean that End of the World is playing a joke upon the duelists, tricking them into participating in the duels. Finally, the scene ends with Mickey stopping his stopwatch at 16 seconds and 42 milliseconds. The mystery of what Mickey's watch means is a question which has been asked since Udna was released. While there's no one definitive answer for what the stopwatch means, I'm going to give interpreting it a shot here. Firstly, Mickey is the secretary of the student council and takes the minutes of their meetings. And the stopwatch could be used to help him record what was said and when. Interestingly, you can go back by the amount of time on the stopwatch, and someone will usually be saying something important. For this scene, going back 16 seconds, Toga is beginning to explain the rules of the dueling game. It's hard to...
Okay. Personally, good video. I like the premise. I like the the execution's okay. Actually, I'd say I'm probably not the biggest fan of the execution, but it's, you know, it's an interesting video. I don't like the reliance on saying most of the time, because, like, most of the time, to me, like, undoes all of it. Like, if it's not all the time, then it's, like, not something that can be tracked consistently, and I don't like that. And if it is, like, the overwhelming amount of the time, then you should, like, show examples. Like, you should give the numbers, I think. Because it doesn't feel like that when you're watching retrospectively, right? Like, when I think back to, like, the stopwatch scenes, I don't really think, like, oh, yeah, he was always saying it. Like, someone did always say important stuff. There were moments where I'd think, like, why on earth did that stopwatch just stop there? No one was saying anything. Or, like, there was, like, nothing of substance being said. But maybe it was. You need examples of it, I think. So, I don't know. Anyway. I wonder if the normies will watch Harry Potter. Probably, right? I like cheaper reviews take on the anime. I like cheaper reviews take on anime only. I don't care for his political takes. Oh, maybe. I don't know. I haven't... You know what? I don't know if I've ever seen him talk about anime. So I don't know. To be fair, I haven't seen him talk about politics either, but everything I see of him is just a meme at this point. He's only on episode 2. Wait a minute. Is this a watch through for the first time? Because that'll make way more sense. Because if you're watching and you've seen 2 episodes, then that makes... No, there's no way. I don't believe that. Because he's saying, like, majority of the time, and he talks about, like... No, there's no way. There's no way this is a... Is it? No. It couldn't be. 3... No, he's got a video about the whole series. No, this is someone who's seen... It has to be someone who's seen the whole show, I think. I don't know. Okay.
It's hard to say how much meaning...
No. Okay.
there is to this.
I don't know. The Udina video led me to watch Penguin Drum videos. That is true. I am mildly interested in watching the other stuff like the director has made. Show is weird, but I need things explained for that show. That's the same with Udina. I don't think anything makes sense in Udina, but it's great. I love it. Actually, some things make sense, I guess, but not a lot, though. They are playing cards without attack points. How do they know when their life points reach 0? Well, there's some other rules that dictate that, I guess. I know this is a Shoko anime because the guys look hotter than the girls by a mile. Maybe. Shoujo. He's on episode 2 of his rewatch. God, EliteAri so dumb. God, Kyle's just so terrible at typing context or typing the context in his comments. My goodness. EliteAri, did you see Fujimoto is changing Chainsaw Man's terrible ending? No, is he? I haven't heard anything about that. I'm letting things die down for Chainsaw Man before I properly think about it or like reread it or whatever. What does that? I don't know if you're memeing. What does that mean? Good ending. Huh? What is this? Oh, OC. Okay. You're gonna have to tell me. I don't even know what you're talking about. By the way, I know Kiefer was created before Gojo from JJK, but he will always be magical Gojo. True, maybe. They just look similar. They're like nothing alike. So far, at least. There's gonna be 12 extra pages in the volume. Really? I wonder what chapter they'll go to. Chainsaw Man, 12 pages. Final volume confirmed 176 pages. Does that mean there's like going to be a like bonus art or whatever? Or is that actually like story pages? I don't know. I don't know enough about like context and stuff like that to have any idea. It'd be kind of awesome if there was an epilogue though, because it'd like either destroy my video or like add further credence to it, which would be interesting. That is a very good true thing. 12 empty pages would be absolute cinema. That is the truest thing in the world. There's Fujimoto thing of all time. I would love that. Then you can just write your own ending, or better yet, release a fully blank version where you draw it yourself. True. My goodness. Final volume supposed to have 12 more pages. People said it's probably actually just little plot to... Yeah, that's what I would assume. If I were to read that and they were like, oh, there's 12 extra pages, I just assume it's like bonus art or like draft pages or something like that. but maybe it is extra story stuff. I don't know. Because I haven't read many manga. I've read maybe like 10 manga in my life, and the only thing I know that's like added extra pages is being Attack on Titan. So I don't know. Maybe it's very common. Maybe it's not. But the Hopium has started. Unless it has a part 3 announcement or Brushbuddy and Chainsaw Man, I don't see the manga overall experience fixed. Well, luckily it doesn't need to be fixed. It's a really good ending, but let's continue.
Because it could be coincidental. With Udna, I doubt that anything is a coincidence, but without making a
I don't know about that. I think a lot is a coincidence, because a lot of it doesn't make sense. It's contradictory.
thorough catalog of every time the stopwatch appears, I can't have a firm opinion. For the stopwatch times I checked, they did correspond to a line of dialogue, but since I think almost every line of dialogue is important in Udna, I didn't see any particular connections between them. Second, Mickey, perhaps even more so than the rest of the duelists, is obsessed with regaining a specific moment from his past, the sunlit garden where he played piano with his sister Kazue. Mickey's memory of that garden is something he longs to return to, though we later learn his memory is flawed, and the idealized past Mickey remembers is an illusion. Having lost his seemingly pure relationship with his sister, Mickey is determined not to let another moment pass him by unappreciated. He carries the stopwatch with him to make sure his memory of each event is as clear as it can be.
Yeah, I guess either I saw a Reddit comment that is what this video is based on, or like the comment based on this video or something like that, or I watched Kyle watch part of this video or something, but I have heard this before.
So that he can hold on to each memory as strongly as he possibly can. Mickey is a somewhat anal retentive character, so it makes sense that to preserve his memories, he would resort to a stopwatch.
I don't know. I don't see how the stopwatch has anything to do with it, though. Like, if he felt like he was losing track of time, or he felt like time slipped away, or he felt like maybe that would make more sense to me. The stopwatch element just doesn't, like, it's a different type of tracking. Like, you're tracking something different than a memory. Like, if instead he was like, instead of having a stopwatch, if he had like if he would just journal every now and then randomly, like, what's he journaling about? Like, that would make more sense. But I don't know how the stopwatch ties into anything.
A third possible meaning comes from the director himself. Apologies in advance for pronunciation errors. According to a fan translation of a 1997 Animage interview with Udna's director, Kunihiko Ikuhara, Mickey, using the stopwatch, is connected with the structure of the world. After everyone laughs, the chief screenwriter and character designer, Inokido Yoji, says, "That's a really hard to understand answer." Ikuhara has a habit of not being very serious or clear in his interviews, so this is par for the course. I think with a little digging, though, we can figure out what he means.
I don't know about that, but okay, damn.
Academy, time doesn't seem to function normally.
Sure.
Give some examples. In Season 2, Udna and Wakaba discuss taking finals, which would normally indicate that time is progressing. However, the seasons at Otori never change, and school seems to continue on as normal, even though school should be out after finals. Next, Anthe and Akio are both implied to be much older than they physically appear. At the end of Season 2, Akio says, "As long as people live in these gardens called schools, people will never become adults."
True.
To explain why he and Mikage haven't aged, while Tokiko has grown old. Otori seems to exist in a timeless state, which emphasizes the arrested development of all the main cast. It is not until they leave the school that the characters can age and mature. While they are trapped in Akio's system, they cannot advance. Ikuhara's answer that Mickey's watch relates to the structure of the world could be referencing this warped sense of time. Perhaps Mickey has realized that something is wrong with how time functions at Otori, and obsessive as he is, has decided to catalog it. While I think that that's a fun theory, I'm more inclined to believe that the use of the stopwatch is just another reference to the theme of time and its passage, or lack thereof, which comes up a lot in Udna. Mickey stops the watch at moments which he thinks are important and that he wants to hold on to, and then time stops progressing on the watch, just like how Mikage holds on to his memory of the past and time stops for him.
I like this interpretation. That's pretty good.
And finally, I think that the stopwatch looks cool, and this point cannot be
I definitely don't think it looks cool, but I think it is a cool, like, it's a cool idea.
overstated. The stopwatch makes a nice punctuation mark to a scene or moment, which is exactly how it's used here to end the duelist's conversation and transition to the next scene. And I think this also marks a good spot to end this video. I hope you got something out of it, and that I haven't just been wasting your time. Thanks for watching.
Wow.
Now for boring channel stuff. It's been a long time since the last upload, and I'm hoping that I can increase these videos' frequency. I appreciate you for sticking around. I had actually made and uploaded another version of this episode, where I discussed the scene where Udna confronts Ionji, but I made a really basic mistake, and confused the astrological signs for Virgo and Scorpio. After writing and recording about 7 minutes worth of analysis about how Virgo relates to Anthe, I released it, and the mistake was very quickly pointed out.
That's so funny.
Because it was basically totally worthless. And if you were
he deleted it.
To watch that before I deleted it, I'm sorry that I wasted your time. And I'm surprised you're still here, honestly. To sum up, I'm not really...
Oh man, that's like one of my nightmares. That's so funny. You make a whole video focusing on one specific thing, and then someone in the comments is like, actually, like, oh no. Oh my god.
These videos, and you probably shouldn't be listening to me. Yet, here I am again, and here you are, listening. Bye, and thanks again for watching. Hope to see you next time.
That's so funny. Oh boy. I interpreted Mickey's stopwatch as him making an important moment, marking an important moment in time, like the ending of a meeting, for example, but also him taking that significant moment and stopping time for it. His okay, so they just make the point of the video in the comments. Lovely. All right. Wow. We love when comments do that. We all know how the extra pages changed AOT's ending, made it worse. That's definitely not true. Just made it better. By the way, this season, there's a show called Erin the Southpaw. It's not AOT related yet. Exciting. But I'm not going to watch it. I'm making my own tier list for the first time. EliteAri. Really? Are you going to eliteari.github.io? Where there is a nice anime tier list thing? What do we want to do? One Piece? Mushoku Tensei? Attack on Titan? Zenshu? Oops. Bakano or something? Oh my god, look at that. We can make a tier list. How exciting, you know? Bakano, One Piece going B, Attack on Titan in S. Lovely. Should I make one for characters so you can just do the characters from an anime? Look at this. Akane Banashi. I love when the school is as big as a city. It reminds me of Shokegi. Cooking school is surrounded by clouds. It definitely doesn't remind me of that, but I also agree that it is very cool. Stopwatches are usually used as an attempt capture time memory to show improvement regression as opposed to a regular clock. That is true, yeah, to like improvement and stuff. That'd be an interesting interpretation. All right, so that was that video. Enoch Q. So I watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and...
Take shonen anime. Make it cunty. Make it
Cunty.
I've heard whispers of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and what it's like. I knew the art style was unique. The fashion is unlike any other anime I've ever seen, and it's always been known, like, in the culture that if you're a
Her hair is her hair usually this dark?
JoJo's fan, you're probably gay. This is the series that is gay or makes you gay. But I had no idea what it was like to experience that until now. Like, I had no idea the amount of serving, the amount of petty drama. I didn't realize how emotional it could get on top of it all while simultaneously
It probably is the coolest thing about JoJo's. I don't think I'd use the word gay or whatever, but like it is very it's not, what's the right, melodramatic is the right word. Like flamboyant, I guess is maybe the better word for it. I don't know.
being the most shonen bro power scaling, nothing makes sense, but it's fun anyway piece of media out there. This series got me on like episode 1. I won't lie, this video is just going to be mostly me recapping my thoughts while watching JoJo's. I know I'm late to the party, but I hope you're here for some yapping. Let's get into it. JoJo's Part 1. I will start off by saying that I watched the anime in Japanese sub, but I was itching for the dub at points because they're British, and I just know it would have been so good, especially with how gentlemanly Jonathan is. I liked him the moment he had his scene with Erina. I was like this scene right here, actually. I was getting a lot of Superman, a lot of Captain America from him, telling her that he doesn't want her thanks because this is the bare minimum of how men should treat women. Like, how could I not root for this guy? Just from the bat, we learn he's somebody who wants to not just do good, but be good. And then we meet Dio, the absurd polar opposite to our chivalrous gentleman. Like, not even a second on the screen. Dio just had my jaw on the floor. We learn that he's not just a bad person, not just a villain, but a comically vile individual. Like, he's literally about to punch.
All right. So this is the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure review, and it's very long. Oh, it's in the first 2 parts. Holy, okay. But very cool.
Oh my God, we're back again. Brothers, sisters, everybody.
So from 1880s England, we hit the streets of New York. I don't even think this is a good accent. I feel like Joey Soprano,
We love in Yaku. Holy, okay. JoJo is not gay. It's just flamboyant. Hey, that's what I said. It has gay parts and looks gay. Total recommend. I loved it. I did start with part 3. Part 1 is a little slow for me. True, I agree. Part 3 is really good. Part 2 is really good too. Part 1 is probably the weakest. Yeah, I probably would agree with that. But yeah. Women don't want to be villains. Believe it. I don't remember this. It's a Naruto reference? What is it? Oh, no,
I have a
believe
lot
it
of
or
notes
not.
and thoughts about this topic. Does the female power fantasy even exist? I mean,
All right, let me think. The female power fantasy. Is power fantasy a thing that could be divided by gender? I don't even know if I'd concede to that. What is a woman? Like, what does it mean to be feminine? I have no idea. These are questions outside of my current philosophical capacity. I cannot possibly answer this. No, EliteAri, I'm making a Mad Men Season 1 episode tier list. I'm looking forward to you ranking. What? I don't know what you're talking about, but okay, good for you. MrBeast hawked up another one. Big Joel. Let's see.
So on January 8th, MrBeast, the online sensation, messaged me to ask if I thought the new season of his Amazon Prime show, Beast Games, was better than season 1.
Oh, God. I haven't seen season 2, to be fair. I feel like it's probably... I mean, it might be better. I doubt it's very good, but also it is very funny. I'm pretty sure we watched a review from Big Joel. Oh, maybe we didn't watch it, but we, like, listened to a bit of it or something, and I think he really didn't like it.
He said he took a lot of feedback from my video and videos like it, and that he'd love to see a review of season 2. I kind of don't believe that MrBeast actually watched my entire hour-and-a-half long video.
I 100% believe it. Just based on everything he talks about like, he watches random videos and stuff. I feel like he probably did, but maybe not, you know?
About the first season of his show. I'm not throwing shade there, I just feel like he's a busy guy and might not care that much, but it was still cool to be thought of in that way, and I'll forever hold my conversation with MrBeast close to my heart.
Alright, what is this video gonna be?
Anyway, this video is for you, MrBeast. I hope you enjoy it, though I have to admit, I really did not like Season 2 of Beast Games. Episode 1, The Crunchening. So MrBeast comes out in his classic MrBeast sweatshirt suit, and he tells us that this season has a special gimmick. It's brains versus brawn. 100 of the strongest people around versus 100 of...
Just the premise sounds terrible, doesn't it? I don't know. Like, what are you gonna... It's so... Like, the strongest people, fine. The smartest people is such a dumb idea. Like, what does that even mean? Like, what does it mean to be smart? How are you gonna, like, use that in, like, games? And it sounds so dumb. I don't know.
Of the smartest.
Will it be brains or biceps? That wins a Beast Games.
And just so you know, that group of smart people includes folks with some pretty remarkable credentials. They have a chess coach in the house. They don't
True.
say if he's a master or grandmaster or whatever, but, like, you know, that's a chess coach. They got a crypto content creator over here.
Yeah, if it's $1 million, I'm gonna take $1 million.
I didn't even know guys like that needed.
Okay, true. We spent $100 million. The jangle... Oh, yeah, true. We don't like the key... We got a Mauler comment here. This is what Mauler says all the time. Anyway. Lovely. Go, you think they treat the JoJo staff good? Do you think they treat the JoJo staff good? I have absolutely no idea. Women... What is this? What are you saying here, Gustav? What is it? I just read the first 5 words. I'm like, where is this going? Women want to be the victims more than the villains. It's like the old saying, if men take 10 years to go to the moon, then women would take 1 year to reach the moon and 9 years argue who is the leader. What is this? What is the comment, Gustav? Okay, Jesus. The female power fantasy is dating all of One Direction at once. Okay, I got some crazy women haters in the chat. Oh my god. All right. Why was I invited to Beast Studios?
It is 4:20.
I'm just kidding. I've already seen this video, but can I be bothered? Does anyone actually care about this? Because I have like a whole thing I could talk about for this video, but I don't necessarily want to because it's like it's not too interesting. So I'd probably only talk about it if people wanted to. But I have seen that video and I have a lot of thoughts on it. You shouldn't watch the Harry Potter show now. This is a video. Why shouldn't I? Please convince me. My goodness.
A new Harry Potter TV series readapting J.K. Rowling's books one season.
Is this an AI voice? I can't tell. Kind of sounds like it a little bit.
George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead is one of
No, it's a real voice. Okay.
At a time is set to debut this Christmas on HBO Max. I don't think you should watch it. I don't think anyone should watch it. The primary reason is, of course, J.K. Rowling's intense and relentless transphobia. If you're mercifully offline, you might not be aware, but the vast majority of Rowling's public persona across the last several years has been dedicated to attacking trans people, be it
I have
comments,
heard this.
platforming known bigots, sharing anti-trans conspiracy theories, lashing out at former collaborators who publicly disagreed with her transphobic views, or in the most extreme cases...
Does she ever do interviews? I don't think I've ever heard her speak before. Like, on a voice or whatever. I feel like she almost certainly doesn't, right? I'm guessing. 3 years ago. From 1998, I thought it was like a recent thing. Oh, she does like the weird, like, produced videos, I guess. Like a podcast appearance or something, or... I guess not. I don't know. But true. Okay, J.K. Rowling. Imagine being less dignified at Rings of Power. Okay, true. All right. When did EliteAri become such an anti-fan? Of what? Of MrBeast? I don't like MrBeast. No, actually. The MrBeast stuff, I haven't watched a MrBeast video in a while, actually. Purely because I don't, like, they just haven't been very interesting. Like, what's the last one I watched? Did I watch this one? No. Man, it's been a while, hasn't it? I think I watched this one. 100 Kids versus World's Strongest Man. Since then, I might have, like, watched, like, a few minutes from some of these, but, like, I haven't really watched them, because none of them really stand out to me as, like, particularly interesting. But I'm not an anti-fan or anything. But, yeah. Kai, what happened to being a radfem? True. My goodness. It's not hating, just pointing out pros and cons. True. I love women, says Kyle. We'll talk about that video, EliteAri. Okay, we'll see. Did you hear they're making 12 Angry Men with all the women cast? I have not seen 12 Angry Men. Wait, is that the one I watched? And when I say I watched, I mean I watched like 10 minutes? No, I'm thinking of The Usual Suspects, I think. No, I don't know anything about 12 Angry Men. Besides, I feel like it's in the opening of Chainsman Season 1, but I could be wrong. We already had Harry Potter. Only reason for the show is to keep the property relevant. Well, maybe it'll be good. It's on HBO. HBO usually makes good stuff, right? It's called 12 Women. Wait, was that like the setup for a joke? Oh no, for the all women cast. Okay, true. I don't know enough about the movie to comment, but maybe that's a good idea. Maybe that'd be really fun to watch. Maybe that will be the woman power fantasy. The MrBeast one. That guy is supposed to be the smartest video essayist ever, and I bet he's dumb. Well, it depends what you mean by dumb. I don't know if it's... Like, he clearly is ideological, and if you think his, like, ideology is wrong, then you'd think he's dumb. But he's not like a dumb person or whatever. It doesn't come across that way. Priam, you want the last wheel slot or what? Proven hater. Talk about that video, leader. Yeah, we're getting there. Let me read the chat. It's kind of funny how an author that writes about magic doesn't believe in changing genders. One of the teacher can change to a cat. You know, I have not followed enough of this discourse to have any idea. I would suspect... Firstly, I could imagine maybe back then she was less radical, and maybe now over time she is much more radicalized. Like, she wrote that back when she was like, it was 1998 or something. But also, I don't know, who knows. They don't make you do 12 Angry Men at school. Isn't it a movie? Do you watch movies at school? Is that a thing? I guess you watch... Surely I watched the movie at school, right? I watched Blade Runner, but that was like grade 12. I don't know, maybe. All right. The MrBeast video, what was it? Out. MrBeast invited... Did my mouse sensitivity change? No. Okay, let me get my notes up of what I wrote about this. So this is a video I saw. Now, I've never heard of this channel before, but they don't seem like a particularly, like, it's an interesting thing where I'm like, oh, they just, like, make random videos. It's, like, it's interesting. I don't think I've seen any of them. And it's not like, when I saw it, I think, like, was it Miller? Someone put it in Kyle Entertainment's Discord and said, like, something about a bread tuber or something. And I thought, oh, okay, it's like the classic, like, MrBeast is evil because he's, like, rich or whatever. So I went into it, like, expecting that, right? And when I say that, I mean, I watched, like, the first minute and I was like, oh, okay, this is, like, this is not at all what I was expecting. And then I didn't watch the rest because I'm like, I don't really care that much. But then I was on TikTok and I saw this, like, graph. And it was like, MrBeast's views are like on a giant decline. I was like, well, that's like really interesting. I didn't actually know that. And I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense a little bit. Cause like I haven't been watching his videos recently. And I wonder if that's also the case. Like that it's like on a grander thing. Like more people are kind of doing that. So then I found out it was from this video. So I went to the end and I looked at the graph and then I had a lot of issues with this graph. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe there's like more to actually like, maybe I should watch this video. So I watched it and it was interesting. Now, there's like, for a little bit of context, I've seen two things. I've seen this video in its entirety, and I was like I wasn't paying attention to it that much. Like I was kind of watching it in the background, and every now and then I'd think of something to like make a note on or whatever, and I'd like write it down quickly, but like I haven't thought too much about it. It is obviously long, like it's an hour and 18 minutes, right? And I watched it like 3 times speed or something like that, so I didn't really pay that much attention. That's the first thing. Then he also did a live stream afterwards, and I watched that as well. this. So I've seen this video as well in its entirety. So I feel like this video gives a lot more context into like who he is as a person and like what his beliefs are, which informs this video a little bit more, which is interesting. So that's the first thing. Yeah. But it's a strange thing to talk about because the way the video comes across is different than the way he talks about it in the live stream. When I watch this video, like, I get the impression, like, it's a bit of a strange video, where, like, my overall impression for, like, what do I think about this is, it's, the first section is actually very interesting, and I liked it quite a lot, where I was like, oh, this is, like, kind of cool, where he got invited to, MrBeast Studios, or whatever they call it, like, Beast, I have no idea what they call it, Beast Industries, I have no idea, but he got invited there, and he was, like, trying to figure out why he got invited there, without asking them, like, he's just trying to, like, speculate, like, why would they invite me there? And he comes up with, like, I think I'm assuming based on the fact that it ends in theory 5, that he came up with 5 different theories. And they were interesting. Like, a lot of the times I would think of, like, he'd come up with a theory and I'd say, oh, it's like, oh, that's obviously not the case because of blah, blah, blah. And he'd bring it up later. And I'm like, oh, okay, look, he's, like, smart. He's, like, aware of, like, the reasons why these theories are dumb or whatever. So all of this bit was like, oh, what a cool kind of idea for a video. So all that stuff was, like, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. You know, I enjoyed watching this. Then he does, the video transitions into doing basically a not Squid Game. He talks about Squid Game. We'll get to that. Beast Game Season 2 review. Now, I haven't seen Beast Game Season 2, to be fair. But I would imagine, based on... I have seen Beast Game Season 1, and Beast Game Season 1 was not very good. I gave it a 2 out of 5, and I definitely did not want to watch any more. So please, don't lock me in as like a Beast Games defender, because I am absolutely not a Beast Games defender whatsoever, okay? I do not like Beast Games, and I will probably never watch it again. But I feel like the video starts falling apart a little bit, or like the kind of like at the beginning he comes across as like, oh, he's like interesting and thoughtful, and like he's got like, I don't know, he's like clever ways of writing and stuff, and that was all really good. But then he goes into the review and it's like, to me it feels very like, it's like a strangely like veiled ideology, where I'm like, maybe it's only because I don't have any context for this channel, and maybe it is like a very ideologically driven channel or something, but it's like, there was a giant portion of this section of the video is focused on the concept of efficiency. And I just didn't get it. Like, I didn't know where it came from. I didn't understand why he cared about it so much. And why it was the focus of the video. So I still don't quite get it. Like, I get it a little bit. Like, when we talk about when I talk about the live stream, we'll talk about it a bit more and how it makes a bit more sense. But like, when I'm going through the video, I'm like, oh, he's really upset, or not upset, it's probably an unfair way to say it. It's like very, he's very critical of MrBeast because MrBeast is a very inefficient way of producing content. Yeah, and like one of the, he gives like a bunch of reasons for why he would see it as inefficient, but one of them was like, oh, he's instead of having cameras placed intentionally so you can form a narrative at the time of production or whatever, like when you're actually recording, you can have cameras placed strategically to do, like MrBeast just has like 1,000 cameras, and then post hoc he like gets together the most interesting footage and makes stuff that way. And he was criticizing it borderline like almost like a moral kind of criticism, but wasn't quite like a moral. I couldn't tell if he was like too afraid, or like maybe being sued or something like that, or maybe just like too afraid like he couldn't defend it or something like that. So I don't want to say it's like an outright like moral like condemnation or whatever, but like it felt weird that it was like he was so focused on the inefficiency thing, and I just didn't understand why. But yeah, that's the first thing to talk about. So like he gets to the review bit, and I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's like the typical like Beast Games is bad kind of review, and I would agree. Like Beast Games I don't like at all. But that's the first thing. A lot of the review is like also structured around, it's really strange, because when I watched through it for the first time, I was like, oh, okay, so like this is a person who very clearly believes that there is objectivity in art. Like it's not even a question. Like he would fall right in line with all the other like art is objective, and there is bad art, and there is good art, and there is morally good art and morally bad art, and blah 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 whatever. Like there's all of that, and it's very clear when you're watching this that obviously he has that perspective, right? Then in the live stream though, he gets pushed on it. And the person interviewing him or talking to him says, like, how would you define art or whatever? And then he goes on a whole thing. And at the end of it, he basically says, like, you know, he gives a bunch of points that are like, would be in support of like an objective view of art. But then at the end, he says, like, but in the end, art is, I have a subjective view because like my preferences are different, blah, 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 whatever. And like, it's a weird thing where it's like, he at least intellectually, realizes that the idea of subjectivity of art is like something you probably have to agree with. Otherwise, it's a bit silly to kind of talk about. But at the same time, he wants to have an objective frame of art because it's the most convincing way to like reach an audience or something. It's like it's interesting. Like I wouldn't say it's like I wouldn't say it's outright like a bad thing or something, but it's like weird and interesting, I guess. Where it's like he admits intellectually that he is like subjective, but when he's like making the video, he frames it as though it is an objective critique, which is weird. I don't know. Now, I think I wrote like some examples of like what I'm talking about to make it a bit more clear. There's I guess more on the efficiency thing I was talking about. He says like the intention first thing I was talking about, where like it's MrBeast should basically change his production to, instead of forming a narrative post hoc, like after you've captured the actual footage, then he should come up with the narrative initially, and intention is important. Like he made a point about like without intention there is no art or something like that, or roughly, I mean a little uncharitable when I say that, but roughly that's the idea, where it's like something is more art if it is more intentional, which to me is like kind of a very silly thing, but like maybe, I don't know. There's probably people out there who agree with that, but I certainly don't. There was in my opinion, there was a very silly point where he was talking about essentially having constraints make something not art, which was very strange to me. Like, I was like, that feels like, I don't understand why that would, like, why constraints would make something not art. Because he was specifically talking about how when MrBeast makes videos, or the MrBeast team, because obviously MrBeast isn't making videos by himself now, he starts with choosing a thumbnail and an idea. And then from there, he basically makes the video based on that thumbnail and idea. Now, this is obviously something I do as well, and I'm sure a million other people do this as well. So, to me, it was like, oh, this is weird, because it's like, to me, that makes sense. Like, why would it like, just because you are constrained by wanting to initially start with something, and then having that initial constraint of, like, being restricted to the thumbnail and idea, I don't understand how that makes the product afterward not art. Like, if anything, it makes it more creative, because you have to be more creative when you have these restraints based on you, right? Like, it felt very silly to me to kind of have that be an argument, you know? It is possible I'm not understanding it, but I feel like that's probably the strongest disagreement I had with the video about, like, about constraints and art and stuff. That was really strange to me. It felt very out of step with, like, most of the other stuff in the video, but that was the thing. Yeah, well, first we'll see if there's any chats in, then we can continue, but yeah. 12 Angry Men. What was I up to? They didn't make you do 12 Angry Men at school. I read that already. 12 Angry Men was a play or something. Oh my god, play. No, we did Shakespeare plays, okay? Those are the only ones, I think. Excuse me. I love women and fully support them. They are the main reason I am not gay today, says Gustav. Thank you. They made a very big NFT video back in the day. I did see that when I saw it by Popular. But I haven't followed that NFT trend. Okay Nerd says, Bebby. True Bebby. Thank you. But also that Jimmy... Huh? But also that Jimmy is very likely to watch it personally. Huh? But also that Jimmy is very likely to watch it personally because he's so terminally online that he can't help but relentlessly name search. Is just mean, though, to be honest. Wait, is that what... That's definitely not what he said. Is that what I said? Because I would probably... To be honest, I would probably agree with that a little bit, but not because of the name search thing. It's probably like... I don't know. I don't know what... I don't even know... I have no idea. Let's just leave it at that. But continuing on the video... so after that section, then he goes into the typical kind of criticisms you'd see of MrBeast, where it's like he touches on the charity thing and is like he's doing charity the wrong way or whatever. He talks about the Squid Game, like the fact that Beast Games is kind of like Squid Game, and that's ironic. But he stops it there when, like, very clearly the implication of what he's saying is that it's like it's immoral because of, like, it's basically immoral to make Beast Games because of the irony, which to me is like a very silly thing, kind of, or at least it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I've yet to see someone be able to convince me of that. So yeah, and it's, yeah, I don't know, that was strange, which is fine, whatever. These are like typical MrBeast like criticisms or whatever, but they never jive with me. Then at the end of the video, he makes a lot of really strange or claims that I guess I would probably think are not very well founded about MrBeast's popularity and success. Now, the first thing is that he has a section where he talks about, he compares basically the the cultural impact of MrBeast versus iShowSpeed, and the evidence he uses that iShowSpeed has a stronger cultural impact is that when iShowSpeed live streams, there's more people who watch him, like, in person than MrBeast. When to me, this feels like a very, like, fallacious kind of argument, because Speed is a live streamer. Like, he doesn't make prepared content. Like, that is his whole thing. Like, it is what he's good at. It is what his audience is crowded around. It is what he's known for. It's like it's a pattern that his audience can kind of adhere to. Like, it's a weird straw man, I guess, to kind of like compare iShowSpeed, probably the biggest, like, in IRL, it's not probably, the biggest IRL streamer in the world, compare the attention he gets on IRL streams, which are his niche, to, like, MrBeast when he does IRL stuff. And it's like a weird, like, I don't know what the term for it, like, I'm sure there's some, like, what, argument, like, philosophy term or whatever, but I don't know what it is, but it feels like a weird thing, where it's like, why are you bringing up this example when it's, like, it's, like, not related at all or whatever, but, yeah, it felt weird to me. He makes a very general claim that adults don't like the MrBeast brand, which I would be, like, I could probably imagine that be a 50-50 thing where I'm actually not sure what adults think about it. I know that a lot of, like, say, 18 to 27-year-old, like, that kind of, or 18 to, like, maybe 30-year-old, like, range of, like, online social media people, I would definitely agree that the brand is, like, very disliked in that group of people, for a very specific group, and that is, like, the people who engage with social media in terms of commenting, and just, like, producing content and stuff. I don't know how you would gauge that at, like, a more wider societal level, especially with the fact that, like, what would like a generic adult who has a child who watches MrBeast, I imagine it's a pretty common, like, thing where it's like you're a parent, a relatively young parent, and you have a kid who watches MrBeast videos. I don't know how you would gauge what the average, like, parent thinks about MrBeast content in that way, and how it compares to, like, other content the kids are exposed to. But he makes a very strong claim that, like, almost every adult, like, doesn't like the MrBeast brand. I feel like it's a bit too strong of a claim with no evidence whatsoever. He also has a section where he essentially implies that it's literally impossible for a media or entertainment company to be worth $100 billion, where essentially he's making fun of MrBeast for having the goal of turning his company into a $100 billion company. But, like, I don't see, like, obviously it sounds ridiculous, right? Like, he's just a YouTuber. Like, how's he going to make $100 billion? But, like, just on principle, MrBeast is, like, he is the founder of a media and entertainment company, and I think it is certainly possible for a media or entertainment company to have $100 billion worth of value, right? And when I say value, I mean, like, for people to fallaciously, like, think the value is $100 billion and, like, invest in it or whatever, right? Like, that seems silly to me too, where he was, like, saying that he's just a YouTuber, there's no way that he could do that. So I don't know, unless I'm not understanding his point, but that seemed a bit silly to me too. And then there was the end, like, the bit about the graph I was talking about. Now, this is something he elaborated more on the live stream, but I think to poorer effect, which is that he shows this graph here, which firstly, it says main channel MrBeast videos from 2017 to 2026. It has the millions of views for the video. Firstly, the x-axis, I have no idea what it is. Because obviously MrBeast videos are not frequently uploaded. Like, they are frequently. What I mean is, like, there's no consistent upload schedule. So I couldn't tell if this was, like, a monthly thing, like he's averaging over months, or if it is literally just, like, views and the axis is, like, non-linear. Like, that basically the graph doesn't give you much information. But when you see it, at least when I first saw it, I was like, whoa, it's actually kind of crazy. Like, the graph is going very far down or whatever, the rolling average of views. And oh my god, that's actually insane. It's even worse so when you're watching it as a short initially, and it's, like, zooming in and stuff. It's like, oh my god, it's crazy. But yeah, so in the live, basically my immediate thought when I saw this was like, oh, this is, like, kind of weird to me, because it doesn't, like, MrBeast, when you go to, like, say, like, MrBeast's website, you know, view stats or whatever, like, you go to anything that tracks his stats, god damn it, I can never open this website. Basically, whenever you view his total viewership for the channel over time, it is entirely consistent. So there's no, like, dip in viewership over time, which suggests to me that, like, the channel is still getting just as many views as it typically does over the period of, like, many, like whatever the last 2 years, the channel viewership is going up still, right? So, and I don't mean, like, what I mean is that would suggest, if you're looking at that data, that this graph should look flat, right? Roughly. Or it should decline a little bit, but it should be pretty much the same. But this graph is very different. So it was, like, kind of strange to me, where I'm like, oh, that's, like, kind of weird. I would like to hear more about this. But he doesn't go into this at all. because this is like, I don't know, this is super interesting to me, but he just brings it up and says, oh, it's like a lot of problems with it, but look at this, and bam, and then he moves on. And then in the live stream, he basically, what he says basically, he doubles down and says, like, the person interviewing him, like, said, oh, what about, like, more recent videos? Like, wouldn't they get fewer views? And he essentially doubles down and says, he says very strongly, don't worry, the graph is true. I did a lot of research, and I made sure that it's true. And he doesn't give any of the evidence for, like, the research he did. He, like, says a bunch of stuff about regressions, and it was a bit hard to pass, and I couldn't tell if it's, like, for some reason, my regression, like, my regression analysis, whatever, like, my, like, understanding of statistics was too limited to understand what he was saying. I would be surprised if that was the case, but I guess it is possible if he has, like, a statistics background or something like that. But to me, it just came across as, like, either he's doing a poor job of explaining the core statistics here, like, or he's just explaining it poorly. Like, he's not explaining anything of meaning here. And I couldn't tell. Either way, he doesn't provide any more data, but I hope he does eventually one day. Like, maybe he will. I don't know. Like, it seemed like he was interested in it, and he has done that analysis, is what he said. So I would be interested to see more of it to show that, like, there is a very, he didn't say, like, oh, it's likely that his channel is dying or anything. He said it is, by no matter what metric you look at, the channel is dying. And I thought that's a pretty extreme claim. It would be good to see evidence for it, you know? So yeah. So I don't know. It was a bit, I don't know. Like, just even immediately, like, when you think of, like, what else could be causing this, like, this graph here, like, it could be the changing in release schedules, it could be multi-platform publishing, like, he's on more platforms now than he was in the last few years, so spreading, like, onto different places. It could be just general media trends in the world since 2020, like, it could be the short-form content production, like, I don't think this accounts for, like, short-form content, because then it'd have, like, way higher of, like, a y-axis here. It could be like video length and the fact that YouTube changes what they care about over time, like in terms of like pushing out content and stuff. And, like, how does, like, just raw viewership doesn't have much to do with the success of a channel, like, monetarily. And it could have more to do with the click-through rate or the watch time. Like, I would be surprised, like, his videos have gotten longer over time. I would be very surprised if his total watch time has gone down. That would be very surprising, because the videos have got dramatically longer over time, over the past few years as well. It even, just like what that interviewer person said, which is that over time videos will also, like, they will accumulate more views. So the longer the longer they exist for, like, the longer they'll get views. Now, that isn't necessarily true, but, like, it would depend on each video schedule. But essentially, there's, like, a lot of different things that could completely flip this on its head, and he doesn't really address any of it. But it would be good to see it, and I'm sure he says that he has this data, and I don't know why he wouldn't publish it. Because if he has it, and he's already done the analysis, and he is incredibly confident in it, and unless I've missed it, and maybe he has published it somewhere, like, why wouldn't you just put it out there? Like, even as, like, an open source data project, where you don't even need to give the analysis, even if you're not confident in it or whatever, but he is very confident in it. Like, if you give that data out there, unless it is, like, illicitly acquired or something, like, maybe he did something, he's afraid of being sued by MrBeast. That was, like, a thing he said in the live stream, which is that he tried to be very careful. Like, I don't know, it seemed weird to me. Like, I wish he would publish it. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts on this video. I had a lot. It was an interesting video. It's not the typical kind of, like, brain dead, like, MrBeast is, like, bad or evil kind of video. It had more thought to it. But there was a lot of things that were, like, kind of strange about it. And the live stream was interesting context to it too. But I don't know. There we go. All right. So those are my thoughts. So yeah. Gustav says, I'm in the minority since I want to see them address Snape in the show, being called a thief in book 1, calling him Mudblood, and hanging him on a tree in book 6, stuff that happens in the books and movies. I have no idea what you're saying. Is it about something to do with him being black? Because that's what all the comments were saying, and I thought that's just incredibly dumb, so I don't know. They did not think things through. I completely disagree with this. Like, let's just wait and see, okay? I have a feeling they are very aware of this, right? This could be cut and made a great EliteAri snippet. No, I'm good. Okay. Probably a lot of his content being consumed on Instagram and TikTok. Yeah, short form content, absolutely. Maybe even long form content on, like, Instagram and stuff, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of thoughts, am I right, guys? Oh my god, I almost died. Did you watch the big ContraPoints video too, EliteAri? No. What is that? Who interviewed ContraPoints? I remember I'm a ContraPoints hater. I tried to watch that video once and it was not my cup of tea, okay? EliteAri destroys folding ideas on MrBeast misinformation. No, I don't know. How do I say this? I don't even know how to say it. Like, this isn't, the video I watched is like, it's not a thoughtless video, where a lot of like MrBeast videos are completely thoughtless or whatever. Like, there's clearly a lot of thought that's gone into it. So I don't know, I'm not trying to hate on it, if you know what I mean. I don't know. But yeah. All right. Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
If you've been watching my content for a while now, then I don't think it goes.
Remember that video he made? What was it? It was something, it was like the dumbest, craziest, like most wildest video I'd seen in my life. Was it about JoJo's? And he made like, he counted the trees or something? I don't remember. It was a crazy, my mouse just froze. Okay, there we go. All right.
Without saying, but I love manga. Ever since I read my first volume of Doraemon at the ripe old age of 3 years old and having learnt the Japanese language from birth, I've very quickly come to realize that manga is not only a fascinating and cool art medium that exists in Japan, but is also ultimately a part of my culture as a half Japanese kid who has now been living in Japan for...
I don't know if it's the TVs that are doing this or something else. I can hear a high-pitched whining sound in my ears. I don't like it. All right, turn off the TVs if that's what's causing this, or like use some filter to get rid of it.
About half their life now. And, you know, also considering the fact that I literally made a career off of talking about all this. For the longest time, manga, anime, and all things otaku from Japan were always shunned and looked down upon by the general public until the recent mainstreamification.
I feel like the chiming noise is almost as loud as his voice. It's kind of crazy. Oh my god.
From Japan were always shunned and looked down upon by the general public until the recent mainstreamification, that's definitely not a real word, the so-called mainstream metamorphosis of the medium, which is now estimated to be valued at around $20 billion worldwide, making it the largest that it has ever been. We've been seeing not only everyday people and content creators from all spaces openly express their love for the medium and certain characters and stories that have come from the medium, but it's even gotten to the point now where even A-list celebrities are coming out of the woodworks to talk about how they've always been a Naruto fan or how their favorite manga of all time is Full Metal Alchemist, the original version. And let me just say that there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, regardless of what all of the Puritans in the space will say, and unfortunately there is a lot of them. Personally, as a longtime fan of the medium ever since it was occupying a small niche corner of the internet, I actually really am happy and am proud that the manga and anime community has thrived all across the world now to the point where you don't have to be bullied for enjoying manga and anime. If anything, kids today get bullied for not liking manga and anime. It's just kind of reassuring as a longtime fan that the world has finally come to this realization that manga and anime and all things otaku from Japan.
Oh my god, what a setup. Where's the, okay.
Kind of dope, and it's a cool hobby to get into. But at the same time, we do also have to recognize that the oil has...
The oil? Oh my god. They have Snape on a tracksuit. Everyone else is wearing a gown? Is that true? That's very funny. Why? Why would they? Okay. With a capital D. Okay. Bro, Logan Paul's not cool, bro. He stole manga. I am just so curious where this video is going. The show is obviously trying to get people riled up while not thinking Snape's... This is not true. I don't know anything about the show, but I guarantee you that, like, you know what? I don't know. Anything about the show is like brain broken for some reason. All those comments, every comment I read after watching that trailer or whatever, were all about the fact that Snape was black, and it was crazy. Like, it reminded me of when I watched the Acolyte, and like... The discourse surrounding that show was insane. I didn't understand why, but it was all the anti-woke people. And I'm like, I feel like a similar thing is happening with this Harry Potter show, but even worse because like even the non-anti-woke people hate the show. So it's just, I don't know. I think discourse around the show is lost. It's a lost cause. Anyway. Manga's lame? True. EliteAri is an audio Nazi? No, I just don't like the hype. Can no one else hear it? Maybe it doesn't come through on my stream, but if you watch this video, it's very annoying. It's not just my headphones, right? I don't know. That chiming noise is just in your head, little bro. Maybe. My favorite manga is the rape one with the big sword. Oh, Berserk is what you're saying. I believe EliteAri for not liking manga all the time. I just don't like manga. It's not very good. Except for Fujimoto manga. He makes good manga. To be fair, a lot of anime is weird, so I get why general public see anime as weird. Yeah, bro, is it weird? I mean, all the mainstream stuff isn't really that weird, right? Maybe it is. I don't know. Unfortunately, they don't see the good anime that is deep and meaningful. True. Like Demon Slayer. No, what's like the deepest anime? Like, Monster, right? I don't know. We should see what Tyrone said about Snape? No, we shouldn't. All right, let's keep going.
Has been spread thin on the water's surface. By that, I mean it's a lot harder to come across people who are delving deep into the history or the cultural significance of what makes manga and anime so cool and interesting compared to any other form of entertainment. If anything, a lot of people argue, and this is kind of the part where I somewhat agree with the Puritans of the community, that the culture has become this sort of trend that people have hopped onto because it's hip and cool now to like this kind of weird stuff from Japan. And this is where I have to introduce to you all the star of today's video, everybody's favorite, definitely not controversial content creator, Logan Paul. I never thought I'd be talking about Mr. Paul in a video of mine again, because for those of you who've been around on my career for a while, then you would know that I have actually talked about Mr. Paul here almost a decade ago when he, you know, went to the Aokigahara forest to film a dead body and cause absolute havoc and misery to all of the innocent people of Tokyo who were just trying to get by their day, but instead were stopped by this absolutely obnoxious content creator doing abhorrent things. And I don't think I need to justify in words exactly why and how psychotic that is. But it has come to my attention that he is in the internet news space again because of a recent brand new investment that he has started, which involves buying graded copies of Shonen Jump magazines. Specifically, there are two issues that he purchased to kickstart off his collection, one being the 1997 issue 34 magazine, which famously has this very sick cover.
God, I thought I was going to spoil something.
With Luffy on the front of it, but also, most importantly,
just watch him drop the biggest One Piece spoiler in the world. I'm going to be so upset.
Was the first introduction to the...
To what? What's he going to say? To the what? I'm kind of a little bit scared. Well, there's nothing he could say that could be like that bad, right? It'll be like a name I've heard before or something, right?
World on the One Piece franchise. The first chapter of One Piece.
Oh, okay. Whew, all right.
Is in this particular issue. And the second one being a little bit older, but just as important, if not more important, the 1984 issue 51, I believe, which again has this really sick cover of Goku and Bulma on the front of it, and similarly to the previous one, is the first introduction to the world of the legendary manga series, Dragon Ball. Not only are these two just really cool pieces of manga history to get your hold on, and yes, I will be the first one to admit that I am very jealous. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not as a avid fan of not only One Piece and Dragon Ball, but just of Shonen Jump and manga history in general, especially considering that I grew up with both of these series.
This is just silly. I will see, okay, and I'm sure a lot of people agree with him. Who cares about, and I say this to Logan Paul as well, who cares about owning the first copy of, like, what, who cares? Like, why does it matter? But people have attachment to physical media, so I don't know what to say. I'm just not one of those people. I'd stream everything if I could. I'd read every manga on my computer. I'd watch every movie on Netflix. It doesn't bother me one bit. But people have a really weird attachment to, like, owning things, so I have no idea. But yeah. Anyway. Takopi. We love Takopi. Oh my goodness. Psychotic, says Kyle. It's just chapter 1 of One Piece. True. Shut up, EliteAri. True. Everyone's so mad at Logan Paul, EliteAri. Yeah, but why? Like, who cares? If it's like... I don't know enough about Logan Paul. I assume he's doing it for, like, monetary reasons. Like, he hopes it'll, like, go up over time or something in value and sell it one day. Which makes way more sense than, like, oh, I want to own the first One Piece volume because like, that'd be cool. Like, I don't know. The money thing makes sense to me, at least. Like, all right.
And I grew up reading a fuckload of Shonen Jump magazines since middle school. But as you can see from these two pictures that were posted in announcement of this investment, that these are not just your everyday issues of Shonen Jump. No, they are, in fact, highly graded by the grading company Beckett, which, for those of you who don't know, Beckett is responsible for grading all sorts of hobby-based collections, most notably things in the TCG community like Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, all that kind of stuff. But they also do other stuff too, like VHSs and tickets of, like, concerts and stuff like that. And I guess, as of recently, manga and anime. Now, the amount of money, which everybody is most curious about, that he paid for specifically the issue of Dragon Ball is unfortunately undisclosed. We can all take a guess as to how much he paid.
$1,000. I actually have no idea. I don't know what I would possibly base this on. Like, the value of these things would just be purely based on, like, supply and demand, right? I would assume. And the supply is, like, one of one, right? Like, there's only one of it, like, the first thing. I don't know. I could not possibly estimate the demand for this thing. Or maybe it's not based on that at all. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know anything about collecting, so I just could be completely wrong about everything.
But we do know how much he paid for the One Piece issue, and that is the cool price of $550,000 US. Now, initially when this news was notified to me by you guys over on the Instagram, thank you for that, by the way, and the first time I saw all of this information, there were a number of questions that were revolving around in my mind. Importantly, and I guess the first question that I had in my mind is, since when is Logan Paul a fan of manga at all? And I felt justified in knowing that I wasn't the only one asking this question. Not only were there a ton of other people online asking this exact same question, but we also had some notable figures in the content creator scene like iShowSpeed, who is most notably a very, very big fan of One Piece, who ratioed the fuck out of Logan on the Elon Musk website by simply saying,
What was the tweet? I'm so curious. Did he frame it as like, oh, I'm a massive One Piece fan? Because that'd be very funny. Oh no, we have a cringe community note. Oh, what did it say? The response to my manga purchase was so overwhelmingly positive, in my opinion, that I decided to double down and grab 2 more copies of One Piece Chapter 1. Oh, I hate cringe community notes like this. Oh, okay. You don't even know shit about One Piece. True. Oh.
You don't know shit about One Piece. And that's not to mention the fact that there have been some clips circulating on the internet of Mr. Paul misnomering the protagonist of One Piece as Luffy D. Monkey.
Luffy D. Monkey, shout out.
That's awesome.
Monkey D. Luffy.
What?
Monkey D. Luffy.
It's Monkey D. Luffy.
You know, I don't blame him, because in Japan, they say names out of order. Maybe he watched the dub or the sub or something. I have no idea. All right. Is very evil. He's driving up the price for his own profits. Maybe. MrBeast is just pumping and dumping the Shonen Jump, making a big deal of nothing. Sure. He's tourist too. He's pretending to like the thing we liked. Heath made a funny tweet about this. Oh no. I don't know. Mate, what if he's disagreeing with me? I'm gonna have to fight with Heath. Let's see. Oh no, what is this? Oh god, we're going deep. IShowSpeed opened up to Logan Paul after showing his Volume 1 One Piece manga. This show actually saved my life. I was depressed before watching it, but then I started watching it and started to get motivation for life.
One Piece, the first canon appearance of Monkey D. Luffy.
Wait, this is the first manga?
Yes.
Volume 1?
Yes, Volume 1. Second highest grade in the world, 9.0. One Piece, we all know it, we all love it. I know you love it. It started here. This is Volume 1, so they would take it from the magazine and then make the first ever, like, actually dedicated One Piece book.
Wow.
$400,000 book.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
As a One Piece fan, this is crazy. This show actually saved my life.
What do you mean One Piece saved your life?
It saved my life.
What do you mean by that?
You remember back in quarantine?
Yeah.
I was depressed before, like, watching it.
No
but then
way.
I started watching it. I started to get, like, motivation.
Holy shit.
Wow, real.
I want to show you
True,
something.
we love that. All right. Speed isn't opening up. He's subtly trying to say that Logan Paul's a tourist. He doesn't give a fuck about One Piece. Oh boy, true. Listen, yeah, Logan Paul is evil and Speed is kind of cool, but true is a good. I like this framing. But this framing is so funny. Going off this video, Speed doesn't even know that Shonen Jump magazine is true. On top of that, it's completely normal conversation where he genuinely does open up about Cobra. True. It's a good point. Hey, man. All right. That was One Piece. Oh my god. All right. $50, $51. I mean, Takopi is a good example of a great story that is tough for people to not get judged since it has violent themes on kids, which is a touchy subject. Anyone could, I don't think so. I think any adults can watch Takopi and not find it weird at all. When I think of weird anime, I think of like The Eminence in Shadow, or like Mushoku Tensei, or like Re:Zero. Like these are like the weird, these are like not anyone, like you have, like this isn't for a general audience. This is like someone who at least understands like that you got to take this more seriously than it seems, right? Or like you got to like be aware of the tropes and stuff, or like there's like a, I don't know. Like Takobi does not fall into that at all for me. What else is there? What are like the stuff that like a mainstream people would not probably watch straight away? Even JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like that's one of them with this how flamboyant and stuff like that. Gurren Lagann is probably one of those. I don't know, there's like a bunch. I don't know. But I wouldn't probably agree with Takopi there. Art should not be commodified. Why? Logan Paul and Speed are like best friends. They were in a WrestleMania match together. Really? Oh yeah, I saw a TikTok about that. He like jumped on him or something. Logan Paul did turn on him at the end. Shout out Goku-san. True. You should read Miller and Mr. R's discussion in the Discord about this. Well, not now. Not while I'm streaming. I've read manga for years. I couldn't care less of a shit for first appearance of Dragon Ball or One Piece. Sure, I'm with you there, right there. Except I haven't read manga for years. See, it was a funny tweet. It was, yeah. Hi, everyone, says Not Mr. Gems. Oh my god, it's the world famous Not Mr. Gems on my world tour arc right now. What does that mean? Where are you going? You're like Luffy from One Piece. Japan today, Vietnam tomorrow. Japan today. That's where Luffy was born. Oh my god. Is Bakuno for a general audience, EliteAri? I don't know anything about it. I haven't watched a single episode. Made in Abyss would be another good show I would not recommend. I haven't seen it. I don't know. Maybe. Probably. I might spin the wheel tomorrow, so you better watch out. Wow. Well, don't do it after 8 p.m. because I'll be... Actually, I'm probably just not going to be there at all because I got so much stuff to watch. I'm probably going to be busy all day tomorrow. You should show Bakuno to your dad and he would probably like it. Wow. Cowboy Bebop. So Cowboy Bebop, that's one anyone can watch. Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal's a weird one. I remember when I was watching the Blind Wave reactions and Aaron was really turned off by the breaking of the fourth wall. Not the breaking of the fourth wall. Like the change in medium or whatever. Like the gags, basically, when the anime would change style and like have a different visual thing to represent the character. Like when the tears would like put out the water. Like that was a bit of a learning curve for him. So maybe not Full Metal, surprisingly, for like a general audience. AOT would be general audience. So yeah. Luffy is canonical Brazilian EliteAri, you idiot. But he was born in Japan. He was from the mind of a man in Japan in like 1999 or something, right? Maybe when the anime started, actually. So maybe it was way before that. I don't know. Do it before 8 p.m. or otherwise I will be on a plane. Oh, wow. And by canonically, Oda said it in a volume bonus interview. Okay. It is true. Luffy was made with a Brazilian background. Is it on Earth? Is this like a spoiler? Like the world of One Piece is Earth? Oh my god. Full Metal Alchemist anime gags suck so much. I agree, but literally every anime gag sucks, okay? Claimed by Brazil, Goku 2. Is Goku Brazilian? Wow. I had no idea.
Which, look, let's play devil's advocate and say that it was just a simple mistake. But even people who have never read or watched a single chapter or episode of One Piece can tell you that his name is Monkey D. Luffy. That's like the equivalent...
What that is, let me say, that is not true. That any people, there is... Okay. Holy... This guy lives in a delusional world. A lot of people, especially like around the world, will know the name Luffy, okay? There is no chance in the world that people know Monkey D. Luffy. I feel like I've only learned that recently, like in the past maybe like 4 years. And I'm like, I don't know much about One Piece, but I don't, like I'm in the anime world, okay? Which is infinitely closer than 99% of the world, okay? So this man is delusional, but that's okay. All right? Like, do you guys think your parents know Luffy's, any part of Luffy's name? But if they do, it'll be the Luffy bit. It's not gonna be the Monkey D. Luffy bit. And do you think they know Goku's name? Maybe? I don't know. Probably not. But yeah. Naruto has many funny gags. No, it doesn't. Name one. Actually, probably has one funny gag. I don't know. Only funny gags, I would say. They made Naruto funny when they call it Jujutsu Kaisen. True! JJK is so funny. My goodness. I love laughing at the funny jokes in JJK. He doesn't even believe that. He's just preaching right now, EliteAri. Well, it's just true. Wait, the video or Mr. Gems? I don't even know what you're talking about. And it was still bad. JJK is great. We love JJK. Let's a brother preach. True. Zoro was created with a Japanese background in mind. Nami is Swedish. Sanji is French. Like, Pepe Le Pew or something. I've heard Kyle say that before. I don't know what that is. Usopp is African, I think, and Luffy is Brazilian. Robin is supposed to be Egyptian. Okay, cool. I feel like the only anime character the parents would know are Pikachu and Naruto. True, unironically. What else would there be? Like, there's probably like someone out there, right? Like, let me think. What are like the really popular ones? They might know like, I was gonna say they might know like, no, they're not. I was gonna say One Punch Man, but not even then. There's no way, because it's like an easy thing to remember, you know. But that's not popular enough at all. Like nowhere near. The parents are not gonna know anything. Oh boy. Is there anything in Dragon Ball Z that's like super popular? Like maybe Goku? Like, is there any other like? Is there anything more well known? And probably not. Yeah, probably not. Anyway. Pepe Le Pew is a rapping skunk from Looney Tunes. Okay. Astro Boy. Well, I don't know about that. Maybe Astro Boy? I don't know. Nope. They know Attack on Titans. Well, they know... I'm sure parents would know a bunch of anime names. I don't think they'd know, like, characters, though. Transformers is technically anime. It was made in Japan in the later seasons of G1. Wow. That's kind of crazy. I feel like I've heard that vaguely before. Tax the Titans, you know what I mean? No. They know them Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That is true, actually. They definitely know Yu-Gi-Oh. That's the thing. All right, let's continue.
Which, look, let's play devil's advocate and say that it was just a simple mistake. But
Sure.
even people who have never read or watched a single chapter or episode of One Piece can tell you that his name is Monkey D. Luffy. That's like the equivalent of saying that the protagonist of Dragon Ball's name is Goku-son. One of the main reasons why I wanted to talk about this in a video like this is concerning the amount of dichotomy and conversation that has been revolving around this piece of news. Most primarily, all of the different opinions of people either attacking or defending this particular purchase. Naturally, a lot of manga fans are clowning on Mr. Paul here because he genuinely does not come off as a fan of the medium whatsoever. But there have also been a lot of people defending Mr. Paul in saying that you don't necessarily need to be into art to start collecting art. Which, to an extent, I...
No shit. How could you argue against that? Okay, wait.
Do agree with. But the problem then lies in a number of things, including the barrier of entry for collecting art, as well as the nature of the individual in question here. May I remind you once again that this is the same man who not only went to Aokigahara Forest to film a dead body for his massive YouTube audience, but this is also the same man that people point the finger at who has indirectly been responsible for the hyperinflation.
What just happened to his audio? Was that my headphones?
Aokigahara Forest to film a dead body for his massive YouTube audience, but this is also the same man that people point the finger at who has indirectly been responsible for the hyperinflation of the TCG collection community. Most notably things like Pokemon cards, which he, I believe, made one of the biggest purchases of and made one of the biggest sells of in Pokemon TCG history, resulting in not only the barrier of entry...
Okay. Alright. I just want to think before I say something unbelievably dumb and like I haven't thought about enough. Okay, let me think. If someone is buying something for a value and they are able to find someone to sell it to who wants to buy it for that value, then it's probably either valued at the correct thing or it's not valued high enough, right? What this implies to me is that the cards were probably incredibly undervalued before, right? And the barrier to entry was way too low, is probably my guess. That'd probably be my guess, right? You don't have a right to be inside the market or have an entry into the market of like Pokemon card trading, right? If it is an incredibly valuable market that people have very like high monetary interest in like being part of, right? Now I could be wrong. I'm not an economics expert, but I feel like that this just implies that the market was severely undervalued before and the price should have been way higher. But okay. And this yeah, all right, I don't know. Jesus Christ. All right. Burst on my joke. True. I thought that was a clever joke. No, it was the anime man level of joke. Good job, Kyle. Don't like how you already saw this video. True. The anime man's biggest fan. True. The hyperinflation has also made Pokemon cards significantly more popular. Like the price going up, making them more popular. That's probably also true. Like probably the more value they become, the more people are interested, right? Just say it. Call him the R word. Say it R-E-T-A-R-T. Maybe. True. Kyle's being careful. He misspelt it so he doesn't get banned from top chat like Miller or from live chat like Miller or whatever. Crazy.
For everyday Pokemon fans to rise to improbable heights that cannot be afforded by the everyday person, but also has ultimately birthed this incredibly toxic scalping and reselling culture that has permeated the Pokemon TCG community ever since. To the point where now Pokemon fans who are adults and Pokemon fans who are especially kids who want to just live a childhood collecting these monster cards like every other millennial did 20, 30 years ago, who now can't walk into a store and buy packs without these resellers and scalpers getting it before them, who then go on to sell it for 5, 10 times the price because they want to make a little bit of a profit off of it. As someone who
maybe I'm just so cynical, but you know what? I don't think that is a childhood experience. It has to be protected. Like, I don't think the kids have to have access to the Pokemon cards. Like, I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that really matters. They'll find other things, okay? I'm sure. If one hobby is too expensive, the kid can find something else, okay? We don't have to protect the collection of Pokemon cards as a childhood core memory, okay? But okay.
Who has been collecting cards with my wife now because we literally grew up playing Pokemon and it is one of our favorite franchises that literally shaped our childhood. We've personally had to put a hold onto collecting Pokemon cards because it's just become...
You know what this sounds like? All right, wait, let's continue. Maybe it's about to undo my point.
Really annoying to deal with all of these resellers and scalpers who get there before us.
You know what it sounds like to me? You don't care enough. That's what it sounds like. If you cared enough, you would deal with it. There are people who care more than you, and they are the ones getting the cards. You care less than them. The people who care more are getting them, okay? This is has to do with how much you care about it. If you cared more, you would deal with the hassle. There are people out there who clearly care more, right? Unless you're saying all these scalpers are not finding people to sell it to, and the scalpers are making a negative, like, they're losing money. But I would be very surprised if that's the case, but maybe it is. I don't know enough about this. I don't know enough about the situation of reselling stuff. But I would assume the scalpers are probably not losing money, right? Because then there'd probably be fewer scalpers, I'm guessing. But yeah, all right. Anyway. Restarted, true. Is Miller banned from this live chat? No, he's banned. Apparently, I haven't banned him at all. He's banned from top chat on literally any live stream on YouTube. Like, without reason. Like, it's not like he's banned or something. He just doesn't show up in the top chat for some reason. I don't know why. Like, it's weird. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Can't be seen on top chat. Relegated to live chat. Yeah, it is the funniest thing in the world. And I don't know what caused it, but it is very funny. It's not just my stream. It's literally every stream. I mean, that just arguably means it's no longer a kid's hobby. Yeah, true. This guy's rich as fuck. He lying on God. Well, I mean, I'd assume so. It's like a famous YouTuber, but maybe not. Who knows? Maybe he spends a lot of money. Who knows? I don't agree on the care point. The care point? Oh, and he doesn't care enough? Scalper's bad? Oh, it depends. Okay, morally bad? Maybe. It depends. Like, practically bad? They care more about it. Like, it depends if you view this as a hobby or like a profitable venture. Like, should hobbies be protected? Probably not. I don't know. Like, if someone wants to make money off your hobby, then so be it. Like, in my opinion. Unless I'm like, I haven't thought too much about this, obviously. I'm just thinking of this right now. But, like, I don't really care about protecting hobbies. Like, a scalper can scalp hobby things as much as they want. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, say I wanted to buy, like, a MacBook. What's something I want to buy? Like, say I want to buy the, an Apple Vision Pro or something. And usually it'd be, like, $2,000. But I can't buy one because, like, well, because why? That's the thing. Like, a scalper, like, I was going to say, like, oh, because all the scalpers have them. But the scalpers have them because they're going to, like, sell them to people who are willing to pay more than I am. Which has to do with consumer protections. But I'd assume there's no consumer protections for, like, peer-to-peer, like, selling of, like, like, hobby stuff like this. But unless there is, I don't know. I don't know enough about this, but, like, I don't know. I probably would stand by my point, though. Because it is like a hobby-based thing. I don't know. Anyway. Plenty of markets are regulated to avoid market exploitation. Pokemon cards just aren't. Yeah, because it's like a hobby, right? Like, it's not like a consumer thing or whatever. Like, it's not a thing that people are expected protections for, I would assume. But maybe it is. I don't know enough about it. Doesn't mean scalpers aren't bad. It would be context dependent, right? Like, what I'm saying is scalpers in the context of, like, this hobby thing, like the Pokemon cards. I don't think it's bad. Because I don't really care about Pokemon cards at all, right? I don't know. If scalpers reduce the supply, reduce point of entry to users, then it's bad. Yeah, that's probably true. I don't know. I'd have to think more about it. But true. Okay. Maybe scalpers are bad, okay? Maybe I'll think about it. We'll see.
Sick of this never-ending goose chase of having to...
Wait, I have a great... We'll find out. We'll get to the bottom of this, all right? Are scalpers bad? Yes or no? Oh my god. It depends. What is this? God. Are scalpers bad? You can only answer yes or no. Nothing else. Yes. Okay, we got it. We have divined the information. Scalpers are bad. We have a truth here. All right, let's continue.
Buy these packs or these particular cards before the scalpers get to them at affordable prices, because that's not the reason why we collect Pokemon cards. We don't collect Pokemon cards because we're trying to hopefully one day make a profit off of it. We just want to collect Pokemon cards because we want to relive our childhoods. We want to just enjoy having this collection to look through because we enjoy the franchise. Also, and I hate to bring this up because this is such low-hanging fruit as well, this is the same man, by the way, who has been responsible for a number of rug pull crypto scams that he has still not paid back for the victims of, who ultimately lost sometimes life savings worth of money over.
If this is true, this is terrible. We hate it. We hate scams.
But let's play devil's advocate here, just for argument's sake, to pretend that Mr. Paul here has a squeaky clean history. He has never been involved in any of these controversies. He is as...
He is a tourist. Is that what I was going to say? What's the point going to be? I'm wondering.
Innocent as you could get any collector to be. In this hypothetical situation, I'm still worried about this particular purchase because of what it could possibly do to the culture of buying manga and the whole act of collecting manga.
Okay, this is the first valid point I think he is making. it could have a cultural impact on the hobby, right? Or like not even the hobby. It could have a cultural impact on the what do you call it? Like the culture around it. I don't know how to say it, but I agree. This is a thing that could be a thing. Yes, true.
Magazines and manga as a hobby, and the different potential toxic cultures that could be birthed as a result of this change. Because yes, it is true that in order to collect art, you don't necessarily need to be into the art. I mean, everybody has to start from zero at one point when it comes to getting into any hobby. But if you do want to start collecting things like manga and not know anything about it, then there are so many other affordable price points that you can start off with. For example, buying individual volumes like this. And there's only benefits to this too, not just in the monetary sense. I mean, these are pretty damn affordable. If you come to Japan and go to any secondhand store, then you can get these for like less than 100 yen.
Come to Japan? That's like $1,000 minimum to go to Japan. What is it? How am I going to go to Japan and buy this? What is he talking about? Oh my god.
Brand new, they're like 400 yen. They each have nice covers as well, so you can appreciate them as pieces of art. They are nice and small too, so they don't take up as much space as giant Shonen Jump magazines on your shelf. And if you actually give a shit about, you know, consuming the contents that is within the pages, then it's presented in a very nice size that is easy to pick up and put down. Oh, and most importantly, it doesn't cost.
You know, I do kind of disagree with this. I wish, like, I own a few manga things, because, like, I just love collecting things so much. But they're tiny. I wish they were big. Like the Berserk Deluxe volume is like sick. It's like a full like giant page of like stuff. These manga volumes are like too small.
Cost $500,000 fucking dollars to purchase. In my personal opinion, I think real collectors who are actually passionate.
Oh, it's his personal opinion. Okay, I thought it was like a collective opinion. Okay.
About starting a collection, start from a much lower barrier of entry and then work their way up as they get more invested and start to know more about the actual things that they're collecting. Because for them, it's not about the money or the value that is sitting on their shelves, but rather the joy that they get from knowing that they have this collection of things that they are genuinely passionate about and actually makes them happy. That's why when people start collecting Pokemon cards, for instance, they don't immediately go out and buy a PSA 10 Pikachu poncho because the barrier of entry is so high. You start off with simple booster packs or simple common cards, and then you work your way up from there if you actually enjoy it. And if some of those people's first purchases for the collection are the PSA 10 Pikachu ponchos, then 99 times out of 100, they don't actually care about the thing that they're collecting, only about the value and the personal gain that...
Man, could you imagine if, like... Man. MrBeast is, like, pretty rich. Probably. Like, I'm sure he has a lot of assets at his disposal that he could, like, turn into money or whatever. But, imagine if MrBeast decided, like, his next video was going to be, like, I bought every Pokemon card on the market, and now people are going to compete to, like, win them or something. That'd be, like, crazy. People would be so mad at him. But imagine that. I don't know. Like, now that's a video idea. Oh my goodness. Everyone would be talking about that. Anyway. Both can be true. Scalpers can be bad, but also you can not care. No. If I don't care, then they're not bad. Has to be. If you cannot buy a Sega Genesis because Scalper drove the game too high, then not bad. If Scalper drove the game too high, then not bad. If you cannot buy a Sega Genesis because Scalpers drove the game too high, then not bad. If Scalpers bought all the PS5, then you can't play, then it's bad. One is a novelty hobby and the other is a current... I don't know, maybe. If you buy a manga in Japan, it would be in Japanese by default, which we can't read. True. There's so many holes in his argument. My goodness. All right.
That they can achieve from having that item. And look, don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with that, right? Like, do the hustle that you think works best for you. There are so many millionaires and billionaires who drop egregious amounts of money to buy traditional art just to hang up on their wall to boast to their other billionaire friends. But don't pretend and sit there and go like, oh yeah, I've always been a fan of manga.
Oh yeah, he's talking about me and my posters. You see them, guys?
I grew up reading One Piece and Dragon Ball. Luffy D. Monkey is my favorite character. Like, Logan, just be honest with yourself and everyone on the internet, okay? You bought these issues because you know that it's most likely going to be the next big trend in investment collecting, and you only care about the attention that it brings you and the inflation of the market that will eventually lead to your personal monetary gain, like you basically have with every other hobby-based collections that you've been participating in. I think the funniest thing, though, out of this entire situation, according to a bunch of people on the internet, is that the issue of the One Piece Shonen Jump magazine that he bought for $500,000 might not even be the original issue from 1997, but instead a reprinting of the issue, which in the market value of 2025 was estimated to be around $700. And even if it is the original 1997 printing, there were listings in 2025.
Wait, really? That'd be like wouldn't that be like the whole focus of a video like this? Like, that's crazy, isn't it?
The One Piece Shonen...
What did he say? If that's the case, how would... That's like a really big overstep, right?
We have with every other hobby-based collections that you've been participating in. I think the funniest thing, though, out of this entire situation, according to a bunch of people on the internet, is that the issue of...
Oh, okay. I thought he was... Okay. It's just... I'm guessing a bunch of people on Twitter just said, it looks weird. It's probably not. Or is there like evidence of that? Because that's like crazy. Like, why would he? You'd figure you'd verify something like that if you'd put like $500,000 into it, right? I don't know why I'm looking at like sources as though this guy would source anything.
The One Piece Shonen Jump magazine that he bought for $500,000 might not even be the original issue from 1997, but instead a reprinting of the issue, which in the market value of 2025 was estimated to be around $700. And even...
Man, sometimes I just like... I watch videos and I'm like, man, like what made you think that this should be in the video? Because like this thing here is like, you either need to like give way more evidence or you need to like not say this at all. Like this is like the whole thing. Like if this is only worth $700, then like that's way more interesting than anything else in this video. And he says nothing. He says a bunch of people on the internet. What does that even mean? I'm just baffled, you know? Sometimes videos just baffle me like this. I don't know. Anyway. Wow, look at those posters. Thank you. You know, I printed them out on my printer, so they're pretty impressive, aren't they? Look to CRT TV. Joey is cool, really aesthetic. Well, tell that to the high-pitched whine that I'm hearing in my ear right now that is probably from those CRT TVs. Okay, I'm not very happy with it. But true, they look cool. I'll give them that. I don't know what posters you have. Also, that was Ciclet. Ciclet's here, my goodness. I don't know what posters you have. They could be posters of Rachel from Tower of God. Oh, you want to see what posters these are? Okay, ready? There you go. So we got... how do I point? I need to not be in focus. Chainsaw Man. Then we have JJK to the left. And then we have Power from Chainsaw Man. And then we have Madoka Magica and then Slime. And then if we go to the this one, it's Heavenly Delusion, and then Ruby, and then Spy Family, and then Attack on Titan, and then Takobi's Original Sin. And then we go one up. We got Arcane, ReZero, the Fujimoto 70 to 26, Knight of the Prophecy. We got Utena, we got One Direct Priority, and if we go up again, I actually can't see that from here. What is that? We got JJK Season 2, that's Sukuna. Then we got Mushoku Tensei, and then Slime, and then Madoka Magica, and then Hunter x Hunter. Alright? Oh my goodness. So there you go. Ay. Imagine scamming Logan Paul for $500,000. True. I'd be living on that high for the rest of my life. True. Why would he need to give evidence, bro? Logan Paul got the wrong one. Now I can sleep well. That's true. That's what they say on Twitter, right? I'm guessing. Do you own any manga? Boy, do I own manga. I could probably go get it right now. You want me to get it? Let me put my pause screen on. All right, ready, guys? I'm going to go get all my manga. All right. So we've got Attack on Titan, volume 31. Okay? We've got Attack on Titan, volume 30. All right, we've got Attack on Titan, volume 1. We've got Chainsaw Man, volume 14, in Japanese. Wait a minute. Please don't copyright strike me. But it's in Japanese. Okay? And finally, we've got Chainsaw Man Volume 12. Also in Japanese. That is my entire manga collection. Okay? Roughly, I think. Alright. The K-Bird, does Ciclet get a spot on the wheel? Says not Mr. Gems. Interesting. When am I getting my 3D printed Uraraka? It's been like 4 years. True. Is that just printer A4? Yes. It's the largest I could print. But you know what? It's a nice tiled texture, so I'm happy. I used to have a room full of smeared DIY anime posters from my parents' A4 printer. True, that's what I got, except it's my A4 printer that I bought on Amazon that is a terrible printer and you should never buy it. But I needed a printer for something, and as a byproduct, I could print posters. Sitch Lit, would you like the final spot on my wheel spin? You can recommend one thing for me to, on the wheel, like a series or one of those dumb movies you like, says Kyle. Cool posters. Thank you. Shit, fuck, you caught me unprepared. Let me think, says Sicklet. I want to buy glasses like the cartoon Ari. I want to buy glasses like the cartoon. What does that mean? Like the one in my profile picture or like in some cartoon? Doctor Who, says Sicklet. What a good recommendation. Circle sunglasses that are mirrored or whatever. True, I agree. They are the coolest thing ever, aren't they? That's why it's my profile picture. I agree. EliteAri has to give the okay for Doctor Who. What does that mean? Why do I have to give the okay for Doctor Who? You can do it. Sicklet can recommend Doctor Who, right? What's the problem with that? I won't judge you if you veto that show. It would be just season 1, and it better not have a lot of episodes. It's only like, yeah, 13 episodes, I think, something like that. Everyone tell EliteAri to watch the great Hulk Hogan documentary. No, thank you. Okay, Kyle, you can watch all of season 1 of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Oh my goodness. All right. You know what? Let's finish this video and then I can end my stream. I can read my nice volumes of Chainsaw Man.
In the market value of 2025 was estimated to be around $700. And even if it is the original 1997 printing, there were listings in 2025 that were going upwards of around $7,000 US. So suffice it to say that Logan paid more than 20 times the market value, not because he is actually interested and gives a shit about the medium and the art and the culture surrounding it, but because he wants to inflate the market for his personal gain and recognition. And don't worry, Logan, you got the recognition from the manga community, not as a genuine fan of the medium, but as the world's biggest LARPer pretending to be a fan because you want to participate in this new potential market that you will ultimately gain some kind of monetary compensation for. Look, I'm not going to sit here and shout into the void and say, hey, Logan, if you're a fan of One Piece, then name 5 characters that aren't Luffy, D, Monkey.
Oh, I can do this. Oh, I don't know if I can, actually, because I don't know any of their last names. Sanji, Nami, Roronoa Zoro, Usopp, Kaya. There we go, it's 5. Easy. I know my One Piece.
But I do want to question and criticize this purchase and this facade of being a manga fan and having always been a manga fan, and that's the reason why it justifies this purchase. Like, bro, just admit it. You're not a fan of manga, and that's fine. Just live with that, and it's cool. But also, at the same time, I'm kind of on all of the manga puritans' side because I am very afraid that the manga collecting community is going to suffer the same fate that the Pokemon TCG community suffered through and all these other hobby-based collections suffered through indirectly because of you. And if you're watching this video and you want to start collecting manga, then I highly advise you to do so. And I highly advise you to start from affordable price points, like, for example, individual volumes or even just average, everyday, non-graded volumes of Shonen Jump, because I genuinely do not understand how these grading companies like Beckett can grade mass-produced magazines with, like, these PSA ratings or whatever rating system that Beckett uses. It just seems like an elaborate scam to me. And look, if the act of collecting manga volumes like this or Shonen Jump magazines turns you onto the culture and the history and the significance and all of the wonderful stories that are hidden within the pages of these books, then that's awesome. But again, my personal advice is to start from the lower barrier of entry and work your way up when you see fit. It's all about moderation. Like, I'm not going to...
Thank you for these excellent recommendations. Logan Paul's a parasite. Puts on a facade with a fake smile and a fake enthusiasm on whatever he's trying to show people. Logan Paul's tourism is sickening. Logan Paul is the kind of guy who made fun of people liking manga and anime, and now he's still in the hobby for money. Everything Logan Paul does, always so shit, for fuck's sake. The Paul brothers are the prime example of people making the wrong ones famous. They've never been good people, ever, within the content space. Rich people can be the biggest douchebags more often than not. It's disgusting. How could people forget the disgusting thing Logan Paul did in Japan in Aokigahara Forest? And yet, this scum gets a pass from everyone because how brain dead the world is. Does Logan Paul have like a giant fan base? Because I feel like most people don't like him, right? I don't even like him, and I feel like I defend everyone. I don't like Logan Paul. I don't know. Oh my god, there's another one. I'm gonna get a bunch of these recommended now, aren't I? How exciting. That's a lot of episodes, and it's not the first one, so Doctor Who sounds better. No one needs to watch the old one. True, same with Doctor Who. I'm not watching things out of order. They're completely different shows, bro. It's about spirits. You just want to watch Kill la Kill before Gurren Lagann. Yet you want to watch Kill la Kill before Gurren Lagann. I watched Kill la Kill before Gurren Lagann, I think. No, I didn't. I think it was the other way around. Yeah, it was definitely the other way around. Shaking my head. By that logic, you have to start 1963 for Doctor Who. True. Kill la Kill is cool, and I want to watch it. I mean, it's cool. Star Trek is lame, and Doctor Who will make more people happy, and it's on the wheel. True. If it's on the wheel, you should watch it. Only a few have last names. Tony Chopper. True, that's a name I've heard of. Nico Robin. True. Monkey D. Luffy. Sun Jin Smoke. Never heard of that. I guess Smoke's his last name. That makes sense. Roranora Zoro. True. Kyle should start streaming so I can spam him. Uh-oh, I scrolled way out. Star Trek clips. True. Breaking Bad. Ravenous. I should. Ravenous. I've seen Ravenous. Why are you giving up on the great Doctor Who? Doctor Who sucks. Star Trek is more interesting. I'm confused by the system. We're qualifying Star Trek. TNG. Disqualifying. I feel like you could have probably more interesting time discussing the episodes. All your others are valid. No, you got to choose one. Okay, this is the discussion, not for EliteAri's YouTube chat. Okay, guys? I think I'm done reading all these, okay? Can we put Ciclet trying to find the fire cave on the wheel? That is a forever iconic thing. I was watching a Ciclet thing the other day. It just had me crack it up laughing. Did I talk about this on stream? Maybe I did. It's just so funny. Which one was it?
People like to believe that Griffith tried to rape Casca in the wagon, but people like to...
It wasn't. It was something. I watched something. It was so funny. Was it the... I don't even know what it was. What is this one? Oh my god, it's being censored. It's not even playing. My goodness. All right. So many videos. Holy. More subscribers than both of my channels combined. What a guy. All right. You have to commit to seasons 1 to 4. True. I'm not committing to anything more than one season. EliteAri got ReZero season 1 on the wheel. True. Does Ciclet have anything other than Berserk? You know that my ReZero season 1 suggestion is gonna go stale if like the season ends. You gotta hurry up. You gotta, if you get it, you have to spin it while the season is airing. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless, right? I want you to watch it so you can be part of the discourse. I'm going live after EliteAri stream to spin the wheel. Really? My goodness. Well, I'm gonna be watching Barkener. But also, I might watch the stream if you go live after. I probably would actually, but yeah, I don't like Berserk, says Ciclet. True. He only likes Griffith. That's the only good thing about Berserk. All right. I think that's the end of the stream, guys. We just accomplished so much. And now look forward to my Ascendance of a Bookworm video tomorrow. Who knows what it'll be about? Will it be yet another video of me saying the anime looks good? Or at least looks better than it used to. Not that it really looks particularly notable. Who knows? Oh, you're doing Bakano with bacon? Is he? My goodness. So let me get straight. Both me and Ari have to say Doctor Who. No, I've already given mine. You can say, the rules are Ciclet. This is my understanding. Let me break it down for you. You know what? Let me break it down for you even better. This is the easy solution to this. You know what Kyle should do? Clip out the segment for the wheel and make a video out on it or something like that. Play. Computer, play.
Now this brings into a big piece of contention. What if one of the things I'm fundamentally fucking boring? It's funny, I don't really like the last 2 arcs of an original. Everybody. Now, we've got some special rules for how I will be conducting my wheel. Now, if we had enough viewers today, we could have spin the wheel today, but in fact, we will not. So what's going to be happening? Now, EliteAri's wheel sucks because a bunch of shit nobody cares about gets picked because anybody, just anybody, can recommend something on shitty EliteAri.
Sure.
That sucks. He spins Citrus or The Gentleman or something, and nobody gives a shit about any of this. Yuri something, Bookworm Diaries, nobody gives a fuck. So how this is going to work? I know where you think this is going. You think it's going, oh, subscribe to the Patreon and you'll get a thingy. That's not true, though you will. But you will get them another way. So what this is going to, right now I have 8 slots open. Now we could up this. But what's going to happen is each core community member is going to get 1 slot. Now, so EliteAri gets a slot. Shitty Miller the Killer gets a shot. Mr. Gems will get a slot because he'll say Gurren Lagann or something. This is the only way I'm going to be watching that shitty show. Creedon will get a slot. Basically, the criteria is if I think you're notable enough. And that's the criteria I'm going with. Now, you also have to show up to give your suggestion. So I told EliteAri about this today. I told him to give me a suggestion, and he didn't. So you gotta fucking think about it after Shitty Witch had a Tilly fucking video is out and give me a suggestion. He's not wasting this. But like, somebody like Jockey Bacon probably isn't getting a vote. He doesn't show up to streams. By goodness gracious.
Ooh, Bacon's getting a vote.
So we'll go through things, and we will...
you get the point, okay? Every person that Kyle chooses, for instance, Ciclet, they get to recommend 1 thing to Kyle, and he might veto it, but he probably won't. So there you go. Easy. Doctor Who Series 1005, the wheel spin will be its own video, but I'm not happy about the Star Trek thing. No Doctor Who from the 60s. I'm not starting in 2005. You're definitely starting in 2005. So Ravenous. Okay, good joke. Ravenous then, after 3 years, fine, no Doctor Who. All right, lovely. I'm glad we figured this out. We got to the bottom of this, guys. Lovely. How exciting, guys. So, you like Ravenous, right, Ari? Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was good. Good movie. But you know what I like better? Belleville Rendezvous. I think that's what it was called. That was a 5 out of 5. That was a great movie. I love that movie. You've got a 1 out of 8 chance. True. Okay. With that, I can't wait to spin the wheel. True. With that, I leave you. Ta-ta and farewell. Goodbye.